Hello, Durud and Shalom, and hola.
Hola, hola, how you doing?
Good, good. Monkey. I don't know if I should believe it or not, but everybody, including the Islamic Republic, is saying something big is about to happen. But I'm not going to believe it until it actually happens. Should we like, what do you think? What are you hearing? Should we just
Hey,
update
last
people?
time I was cautiously optimistic. I'm just gonna keep that trajectory.
Keep that trajectory. Okay, let's get an update on what's happening, and let's keep an eye on the chat. Yes, we be live, Lior. Amir is here, Sarah, Lior, and yes, Greg, Samantha. Okay, fantastic. Our people are here. Our favorite people are here. We're gonna
What it
keep an eye
says
on.
there, Trump says the Iranian regime is very dishonest. Oh, you don't say.
You don't say. You don't say. You don't say. But let's see what he says here. And then maybe if we could see signs of big escalations coming or not.
Overnight, the U.S. Embassy in Jordan issuing a security alert urging Americans to consider leaving the Middle East as U.S. assets and allies in the region face attacks by Iran. Meanwhile, here.
So yeah, this is reminds me right before the 24-day war, we were getting similar messages, but we'll see.
Assets and allies in the region face attacks by Iran. Meanwhile, here at home, President Trump took Friday's cabinet meeting to Camp David, where he told reporters the military is ready to ramp up strikes if progress isn't made on the diplomatic front.
Steve Harrigan joins us now with the latest. Steve.
That's right. That warning from the U.S. Embassy in Jordan telling Americans not to travel to the region, or if they are here now, to consider leaving. And it comes as President Trump has issued a warning the U.S. could launch major attacks against Iran. The president saying those attacks could come as early as this weekend, and they could last for several days. Here's the president.
We'll be hitting them. We'll be hitting them very hard. And at some point, they're going to say, we just can't take it anymore.
You can sense some frustration in the president yesterday about Iran's negotiating tactics, negotiating for days at a time, and then suddenly striking U.S. assets in the region, attempting to strike U.S. military positions in the region, and also attacking civilian shipping. Here's President Trump on negotiating with the Iranians.
I'm losing faith in them because they.
I'm losing faith in them. It's about time. What do you think, Monkey? It's about time.
Why did you have faith in them? Faith is, like, by definition, faith is trusting something that faith comes with trust. Faith comes with a belief, right? Why would you trust or believe these people? I don't understand. I think he's just, using words. But if you go by definition, I would have never had faith in them. Did you ever have any faith in them? Not even a little.
I did have faith in them doing the most evil, barbaric, violent, anti-human shit possible on Earth. That's what I had faith in.
But not standing by any deal.
No.
You lie.
Yeah, so Lior is saying I had negative faith. Yes, exactly, Lior in the chat.
And they do misrepresent. Well, the other day, the 5 missiles were shot. We knocked them down, but we were in the midst of a negotiation. I mean, I'm waiting for Steve to call me. How's the negotiation going? And instead, I got a call from Pete that they just shot 5 missiles at one of our bases in Jordan.
If there are major attacks, it's not clear whether or not Israel would be a part of them. They've largely been on the sidelines for the past 7 weeks of this war. Guys,
my understanding is that if Israel is not part of it, is not a major escalation. If Israel is part of it, it is a major escalation. Is it that binary? What do you think? Is that oversimplification?
I don't see any road but escalation.
But I think like the biggest telltale signs that this is not a major attack is that Israel is staying out. And the biggest telltale sign that this is a major attack is that Israel is also getting involved. That's what I
listen. If you want to get that bingo sheet, you know who you got to get involved. It's got to be them. Like, we can hit targets because we have the kind of technology that we can see into the ground. We can kind of see what is where, but who is where. That problem That's a problem we kind of need Mossad for. Like, there's no getting around it. Like, they have the best intelligence in the area. What is where? We know. Where, who is where? That's a whole different problem.
Yes, perfectly said.
Back to you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Steve. Truly a tragic situation. And of course, as we've talked all along, I feel like Iran has dreadfully miscalculated President Trump, especially when you wind up actually killing U.S. soldiers. If you think that you're going to bully Trump or push Trump into backing down because of an upcoming midterm election, any hope of that goes out the window when you wind up killing U.S. service members. We lost the lives of 3 service members in Jordan on a base after it was struck by missiles from Iran. One of those soldiers was laid to rest yesterday, I believe, in New York, in Queens. And
the response to the soldiers being killed was not fast enough, was not aggressive and fast enough. I mean, I'm sure if at some point a major escalation happens, and I'm sure some people are going to be like, "See, Armin, that includes a response to the soldiers being killed." But again, I might be miscalculating this and not considering operational and logistical limitations. But I do think that maybe I'm wrong about this, but I do think that when American soldiers are killed, the United States has a responsibility to have an immediate response, aggressive response, to demonstrate to all other enemies of the United States what happens immediately after you kill American soldiers.
Well, if I may add a different perspective, right? Because I don't think you're wrong about anything you said, but a different perspective on this would be the elimination of the regime and ending the mission successfully is the best, retaliation, and having perhaps, and this would be, of course, with the permission of the Iranian people, some kind of memorial for the soldiers that died in this there, and honor them that way. Have their families fly in to a new Iran. That could be the best revenge. Peace and happiness in the land of the angry warmongers.
That would be beautiful. That would be beautiful. Hope to see it. One thing I know is, like, for example, Israelis, sometimes it might take a while for them to get revenge for Israelis being killed, but they have made it pretty clear historically that they're not going to stop until they get that revenge. So maybe you have a point. By the way, before I continue with the video, Eliart, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. She's also on our Persian channel, so thank you. Gifted 1 membership over here, and then again another 5 membership on top of that. Thank you so much, Eliart. And then
Appreciate it.
thanks so much for always supporting us. She's always on the Persian channel as well. And Kevin is always here, always supporting us as well with 1 membership gift. Thank you so much, Kevin. I appreciate you always. Oh no, what was your nickname? Capper, Kevin Capper. Thank you. I think I remember it. And thank you, Kevin, and thank you for your service. All right, let me play this.
The among the people that were there was Mayor Mamdani, who was intending to speak at the event, at the funeral, and the family was not interested in having him speak at the family. Here's the New York Post.
Yeah, there he is on the right. Is that him?
The silent treatment, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do think that, look, there's nothing nice about war. This is always the worst case scenario. But I think when you look at this president and the strategy he's employed here, you look at the situation we just saw resolved in Gaza with the Board of Peace coming to this agreement. It will mean that in perpetuity, the people there in Gaza who were constantly being talked about, people, the pro-Palestine crowd, Free Palestine, all these people are pretty silent now. They may want to thank the president, because without him, they'd be living under terrorist rule. Hamas would be ruling their lives. They would be living in misery. And now they have a hope for a better future, but it was
Wait,
Please stop it a second.
Yes.
Okay, this may be just my mind, right? this may just be me. This is just if I was the dad, not only would I not let Mandami speak, I'd invite Netanyahu.
Ooh, that would be good. Oh my god.
I
That
mean,
would be
I know Netanyahu hates the people that killed my daughter as much as as close to as much as I do. If anybody hates the people that killed my little girl, it would be Netanyahu.
that would be that would. Oh my god. Yes,
And then
Monkey.
they gotta face each other. I thought you wanted me arrested, Holmes.
Oh my god, I like the way you think, Monkey. I like that. That would that would be such a yeah. Lior is saying that would send such a message. Fantastic. Love the way you think.
Peace coming to this agreement, it will mean that in perpetuity, the people there in Gaza who were constantly being talked about, people, the pro-Palestine crowd, Free Palestine, all these people are pretty silent now. They may want to thank the president because without him, they'd be living under terrorist rule. Hamas would be ruling their lives. They would be living in.
I mean, I see what she's saying, and destroying Hamas is good for the people in Gaza, but Hamas, if you manage to remove Hamas, there are plenty of terrorist groups that are like lining up to take Hamas's place, right? There is not a shortage of terrorists in Gaza, all right? The issue is not the institution that is called Hamas. You remove Hamas, there is like 12, 13, 14 terrorist organizations right there that are like, oh, okay, Hamas is gone. We're going to take their place, right? The issue is two things. One that is a more longer term problem, which is the mindset of the people over there on average, which is a longer term problem. But the shorter term problem is the funding that they get and the support that they get, which is a more immediate problem, which can only be solved by getting rid of the Islamic Republic. You cannot bring peace to Gaza by removing Hamas. There's plenty of other terrorist groups out there.
I think there's a problem with indoctrination too.
Yeah,
Because
that's
it doesn't,
exactly-
let's say you remove every group, right? You remove every group. You remove every single terrorist in Gaza. But the mindset is still there. The people who weren't terrorists, they were just teachers. They will teach the same garbage. Do you understand? So, like, until you get rid of the indoctrination, it'll be generational. It's a problem we have with Marxists in school, especially in higher education. But it's getting to the point where there's many, like, you could check it out, chat later, but they're getting into like K to 12. Like they're having conversations with kids about economics and gender that you should never have with a kid in elementary school.
Yeah. Going back to Hamas, I agree with you 100%. That's why I said the bigger problem is mindset. By mindset is like I was talking about the brainwashing. 100% I agree with that. That's a longer term problem. For now, you need to stop the support. Longer term, you need to get in there, get into Gaza, stop the education system there, stop the media, and stop the childhood brainwashing. That's a longer term solution once we get rid of the Islamic Republic.
Can I
I
ask a
agree.
question about that?
Yeah.
Do they have their own media, like their own news stations, their own TV stations that just propel this garbage? Oh,
Yes,
I
they
didn't
have
know that.
Monkey. Oh my god, you should go watch. Okay, there's a whole world out there of Gaza TV for children. They have Mickey Mouse teaching kids about martyrdom and killing Jews on stage on their own TV.
Whoa,
It's like
they got
crazy.
jihadi Disney.
They do actual Mickey Mouse. Like I'm not kidding, right? And they have like so many, like, go watch their videos. It's a whole world. It's so crazy, and I can't even watch it. You have kids pretending to be Israelis and other kids with guns pretending to be Hamas militia, and then practicing not just killing Jews, but also practicing getting martyred. Like you have, for example, they have these role plays and practices of kids, like 4-year, 5-year-old kids, that one of them dies, like pretends that it's dying and it's a murder, and the other one's like, oh, like pick it up and like, I don't know, start chanting. So they're not just normalizing killing people, but they're also normalizing celebrating being killed. And they're 4 or 5, and there's drills on this, and they record it and they put it on their own TV. It's crazy.
Like school plays and that kind of thing. I'm still amazed that terrorists don't obey copyright laws.
No, but go watch it. It's like so crazy. It's like a whole world there. There's so many videos of that. It's,
Disney should sue.
Yes.
misery, and now they have a hope for a better future, but it was strategy, and it didn't happen overnight. And I think when we're looking at a situation like we have in Iran, you have to look
Oh
at
yeah, that's the
why-
name. Wait, that's the name. That's the name. They call it. They call him. It's look like Mickey Mouse, but they have a new, different name. It's called Farfour the Mouse. Look that up, Monkey, when you're free. I can't show it on YouTube, but look up
But
Farfour the Mouse.
I would imagine that it's so similar that it makes it so that if the kids ever see it anywhere else, they'll think that's what it means, right?
Well, let me see what it looks like. This is what it looks like. Farfour the Mouse. It's like terrorist.
Yeah. That's
So
the way to do it. So you can buy them the lunchbox from Disney, all right? But they're gonna think it's this guy.
So look, it's in kindergarten here, like in a right, and here is telling the children, we do not know fear. We are the predators of the forest. That's what it's telling like 4 or 5-year-old kids. That's what
It's pretty
who we
brave
are.
for a mouse.
So okay, and they have other like this one I can't show, but this one was crazy. I remember this one. It's insane.
Do they have okay? So I would imagine they definitely got this kind of stuff in Iran.
Not to that. Okay, so here's the thing: the parents in Iran are a lot more picky. I mean, at least my experience is that the parents in Iran do not let schools go this far with their kids unless you're part of the minority Durkha jihadi people, and then you don't get. So in school we get Islam, we get Quran, we get Arabic, but we don't. It doesn't go to that level in Gaza because the parents wouldn't let it.
No, but what about in the air, like in the airwaves? Oh, if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. But the show is on the air. Do they have this kind of shit? This kind of shit on the air?
They do, but not to the level that it's in Gaza. Like in Gaza is like yes, I mean in school and in TV programming we learn about jihad, we learn about martyrdom, and it's celebrated. But like we don't have like not to the point where you actually practice the getting martyred and being happy about it, like and having your family being happy about it. Like to most families in Iran, it's unimaginable for you to be like, "Yay, my kid just died," but in Gaza, it's like more normal, I guess.
It makes it look more difficult to. It makes the problem more difficult. It lets me feel a little more compassion, but I'm not gonna let compassion kill me, which is what some people do. Like the gun is gonna be real, whether they were indoctrinated or not.
So the difference between Gaza and Iran is that Iranian people are not indoctrinated. There was an attempt at the indoctrination and it backfired. But the people in Gaza are mostly indoctrinated. In Gaza we have successful indoctrination. In Iran we have unsuccessful indoctrination that backfired mostly. Yeah.
See what your kids are watching. Everyone in the chat. If you got kids, check out what they're watching. Open up their school books. You know what? Check what's going on in school. It's very important.
You know what Gaza doesn't have that Iran has that made this all backfire? So what Iran has is two things: an ancient identity and also the experience with Pahlavi. So Gaza never experienced Pahlavi to be able to compare now to then. That's the difference. Koala Katie,
they know what they lost.
Yeah, we know what we lost exactly. Koala Katie with a super chat saying, this fall, Florida public schools start teaching about the dangers of communism in grades 6 to 10, probably part of civics. Oh, I like that. I like support that.
Yeah, that's high school. That's the full. Well, I think that's middle school. Let me see. Yeah, that's high school. That's high school.
Okay.
A little bit of middle school. I think we split them different over here.
I support that. All right, let's continue with this, and then I'm going to go to major updates from Trump himself.
How the president has operated this whole way. It's been very strategic. He's tried to be diplomatic about it, but you look at the way he decimated their military. You look at the way that he attacked economically. And now they're kind of boxed into a corner. And you're right. He is not worried about anything that is politically advantageous, Charlie. He's worried about doing the right thing at the right time, and that time is now.
And it's worth noting, President Trump was at the dignified transfer of those 3 fallen heroes. And he saw those caskets draped in the American flag being carried off of a plane coming back to the U.S. You saw in that video of Sergeant Rampersad yesterday being carried in a flag-draped coffin. President Trump has talked about the hardest job any president has, is going to Dover and greeting a dignified transfer. And I think that this family feels that, listen, you have done nothing but rail against President Trump. You're the mayor. Stay out of the foreign policy lane. Yeah. And also, do not simply bring politics into the most sacred, painful moment of our lives. And you have to really put that in context, and you begin to have empathy for the family and why they felt that way. Yeah. But yet, Mayor Mamdani is bringing politics into it.
Yeah, indeed.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest.
So I want to go to President Trump now. This is people are announcing here. This video is short video. With regards to, look at this. The U.S. and Israel are planning what would be one of the harshest bombing campaigns to date against energy infrastructure targets in Iran. Multiple sources told CBS News. Guys, just because I'm reading it, I'm not saying this is 100% sure. I know, guys, you're like, oh, Armin, don't believe this. We don't know. Yeah, I know. I'm just reviewing what is being reported, right? So it's saying with strikes possible throughout the weekend. So let's see what this update is, because this is what a lot of people are saying, which could be true, could be not true, but I want to hear it out. And also talk to you guys about your views regarding hitting infrastructure, because that's what is being discussed now.
Breaking a short time ago, multiple sources telling CBS News that the United States and Israel are planning the most significant strikes ever on Iran's energy infrastructure, a threat President Trump has made multiple times in recent months. Chief Foreign Affairs correspondent Margaret Brennan broke the story and has the details. Margaret.
Well, Matt, the president said he's going big and is losing faith in diplomacy. The targets would include power plants, refineries, and other energy infrastructure. If it happens, this could be the strongest attack we've seen yet on the energy sector, which is central to the IRGC's ability to govern. That's according to multiple sources briefed on the planning. And this plan apparently came up during President Trump's cabinet meeting at Camp David today. The president, we should say, has yet to give the final go orders for these strikes. And I'm told that some White House aides who focus on politics have strongly opposed going forward with them.
All right, Margaret, Israel has not participated in recent attacks against Iran. What is the significance of its involvement in these possible strikes?
Well, Matt, the Israelis are coordinating with the U.S. right now, according to multiple sources. But an official decision, as you said, to restart full joint military operations has not been made. Israel and Iran last traded fire in June. So this new round of strikes by the U.S. is likely to begin as soon as this weekend. And the president wants this done quickly. Perhaps that added Israeli force could achieve that. He is increasingly impatient as this war enters its 6th month, Matt.
All right, Margaret Brennan.
So what do you think about that before I ask you more about infrastructure? What do you think about this?
Well, here's the thing. I can't go beyond cautiously optimistic. Like, what do I think about infrastructure? The same thing I thought before. Like, remember, we had a discussion about this. And we asked, well, how angry would they be at infrastructure like power generation getting hit if the mission ends in a change of regime, or enough strength and communication with our task forces or something like that to be able to take over? Would they care that much? No. Now, if you hit the infrastructure and you leave the IRGC in charge, well, that's where the rub is, isn't it? Right? It's about the outcome. It's about how it ends. And it's about how this all ends. The same thing for the soldiers. Like, do you want immediate retaliation, or do you want the mission to get accomplished? Like I have the same, like I think that conversation, which was very enlightening to me, is where the critical point is. What you hit matters most with the end effect. If the end effect is the regime change, the people are going to be very happy. If you strike all these things and you leave the IRGC in power, that's a problem because they're not going to fix it fast and the people will suffer.
You know, I have something interesting with regards to whether the Iranian people will be upset or not, because that's a question that you're asking, right? Whether if the infrastructure being hit will upset the Iranian people, right? And I want to actually show you something that might help understand that. The Iranian people, Iranian accounts, you know, for example, this account, are sharing this video that is being shared everywhere on social media. This account is Hafezeh Tarikhi, which is a very famous Iranian account. And they posted this video and it's now being shared everywhere else, like on other Iranian YouTube channels and Instagram and everywhere, and it's going viral. And what it shows is in World War II, the French people destroying their own infrastructure, right? So it's saying French resistance forces campaign. So this was posted like in July, like just a few days ago. And they're posting this about World War II now. So to me, they, you know, I mean, obviously not just to me, this is basically Iranian people are saying if infrastructure needs to be destroyed to destroy the Nazis, to basically defeat them, if your own infrastructure needs to be destroyed to destroy the Nazis or the jihadis, so be it. So look at this. It's saying French resistance forces campaign led by General de Gaulle, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, targeting French infrastructure and blowing up bridges, trains, and railway lines during the Allied bombings to liberate Nazi-occupied France 1944. And they posted this short documentary. I don't know if I think it's in Persian. No, it's in English.
Communication hubs, roads, bridges, railways were all systematically destroyed. Allied planes attacked northern and western France to prevent the German rearguard from reaching Normandy. The French resistance, having completed its intel and sabotage missions, now went on the attack in an attempt to stop the Germans bring reinforcements to the front.
Les sabotages sont quotidiens. Les ponts en deviennent les cibles prioritaires afin d'isoler les zones de combat.
So it's saying destruction was turned into a daily event. The bridges.
Quand ils ne peuvent agir directement, les cheminots transmettent des informations sur les transports de matériel militaire. Ils sont ensuite mitraillés et bombardés par les chasseurs alliés.
So look, the French basically giving information to the Allied forces to what to destroy. So not only the French people were not upset about the infrastructure being destroyed, I mean, they were upset, but not only they didn't stop it, they weren't asking it to be stopped, they were even giving the information for them to get to it.
Ils sont ensuite mitraillés et bombardés par les chasseurs alliés. Entre janvier et mai 1944, plus de 800 attentats.
So, wait, see? Saying between... So between January to May 1944...
Janvier et mai 1944, plus de 800...
More than 800 attacks happened to railways in all of France.
Attentats ferroviaires sont commis dans toute la France. Le sabotage pose un véritable problème de conscience aux cheminots. Le sabotage des voies ferrées aurait aussi eu des conséquences dramatiques sur la vie.
And like I was saying, this was so bad for the French people. Like the French people's lives were, it was tragic. Daily lives, millions of French people's lives were affected by that.
Quotidienne de millions de Français, car à l'époque, tout le pays dépend du train.
Because back then the entire country was dependent on on trains. So basically saying, even though the French knew that this is going to like be really hard on the French people and millions of people's lives, it's going to affect them, they still went ahead and destroyed their own infrastructure.
Même est fort pour les cheminots à ce moment-là que les Français, la population, c'est-à-dire leurs frères, leurs sœurs, leurs épouses, leurs enfants, leurs parents, avaient d'autant plus besoin des services qui étaient rendus par le chemin de fer.
So basically it's saying average people needed the services, everybody needed the trains back then.
Pour le ravitaillement, pour tout.
For food, for basically daily needs.
I have to make a confession here. I wish I knew French. It's such a pretty language, the way it's spoken. Like, I understand the message here, and I would understand why Iranian people might start sabotaging some of their own infrastructure just to deny the IRGC its use of it. But French, I just gotta say it. It's such a lovely language. I know a little Spanish, and I know Spanish and English. I know a little Portuguese, and I just want to say French is a beautiful language.
Yeah, but let's continue this.
Pour les transports.
Et puis, saboter une voie pour faire dérailler un train, ça met aussi en danger la vie du mécanicien et du chauffeur.
Les cheminots prennent de plus en plus de risques. Pour causer le maximum de pertes à l'ennemi, ils détruisent même le matériel ferroviaire destiné à la réparation de leur propre destruction. De leur côté, les Alliés veulent en finir au plus vite. Les forteresses volantes anglaises et américaines entament donc une campagne massive de bombardement des nœuds ferroviaires, des centres de triage et des dépôts de tout le nord de la France.
Anyways, I think we get the point. The point is that the Iranian people are basically saying that we could, are communicating that not only the French were okay, like, well, not okay, accepted that the infrastructure needs to be destroyed. They participated in it. And not only that, that led to their liberation from Nazi Germany, right? So what do you think about this video being something that is being shared by the Iranian people and being talked about in that way? Like, and this is the video that Iranian people are sharing. Does that give you more information regarding regarding what sorry, I clicked on something wrong, regarding what they are thinking about all of this?
Yes, this is very enlightening. They're like, look, we're about to do it ourselves, but you guys are just like probably have better equipment to do it, but we're getting sick of these people. Like, this sounds to me like a message. Hey guys, if you want to go out there and do something like this, like, you're telling me that this is a very popular name of influencer among Iranians.
Yes,
so
yes,
like this
amazing.
sends a message. This is very much a message out there, like, hey, this is what we're thinking. This is something to consider. Like,
yeah, no, this, to me, this, the fact that they posted it and the fact that everybody celebrated this video, to me that suggests that you know, that they want this, like, they're okay with this. Like, well, they're not okay with this, that the average Iranian is like, if you had to hit the infrastructure to do this, then go ahead and do it.
oh, that's not the message I got from it. The message I got from it is like, Americans, if you don't blow it up, I'm gonna blow it up myself, so you might as well do it. That's kind of like what I was getting from it.
No, that's not the message I'm getting. The message I'm getting is,
it would be very difficult for them to do it themselves, right?
yes, because they can't do this, because they don't have the French back then were armed. They had equipment. The Iranian people are not armed. So that's the reason why I'm getting a different message.
I think it was less control over explosives back then, and now that would be very difficult in any situation to carry out something like this. I understand what you're saying, but yes, I think your impression of it is correct. I was maybe jumping the gun.
No, that's okay. It's okay. But I'm just showing that so that more people could see that when I have these impressions of what the Iranian people think, it's not out of nowhere. It's based on what's going viral, what's being shared, what people are talking about what is, how well received the piece of content is. It's about, what people are saying in the comment section. Yep. So let me show. Like for example, okay. So this person is saying اول آزادی بعد سازندگی. So this person is saying first liberation, then when we will build. So priority is not the infrastructure, it's liberation, right? So I agree with this guy. This guy is a religious person. I could tell by name, like a Durka jihadi person. This person is saying the Nazis are you Israeli people. So he's calling us Iranians Israelis. Yeah. There's a you Israelis who are doing genocide. So because we're against the regime, he's calling us who are anti-regime, he's calling us is Zionist, basically. This is not a religious person. Okay, so this is a religious person. You can see from their Ayatollah Durka in their bio. This person is swearing at the person who posted this. But you can see like okay, so these are religious person. You can see the people who are attacking it are the Durka jihadi people.
But how many hearts does it have?
This one has 209.
Not like the original post with the video.
Oh, the other one 9,000.
That's okay. So if you look at this is what you call the ratio. Like the ratio is how many comments versus how many hearts. If it has less comments than hearts, it means the people like it way more than they dislike it. Because comments are usually arguments, some for, some against. But what they call a ratio is when you get a whole lot of comments and very little hearts, that means that it was kind of disfavorable or controversial. When you have a whole lot of hearts compared to the comments, that means almost everybody liked it. And that's what it seems to me like here. Like everybody's hearting it. There's no one like and the retweet. That's also a good sign that it's supported.
Yeah. I also see it on like this, but after this account posted it, I also saw it on other accounts. It was being shared on other accounts as well. On Instagram, it went viral in other places as well.
Lots of bookmarks too. Like people are trying to remember this to share it.
Oh, we got some super chats. Shauna saying, so if one of the major issues with Gaza is the lack of an Asian identity, how does a culture create a new identity? America did it by winning a war. Yeah, so America did something that many people thought it wasn't possible. First of all, it's not enough to have like a really old identity, because you could have an old identity that is garbage, right? Islam is like a 1400-year-old identity, but it's garbage, right? And you could be a garbage ideology that gives you an identity that is new, like communist, right? And you could have also a new identity that is pretty like American identity. It's not ancient, but it's very, very good, right? But if you have a good ancient identity and culture, you should use it. I don't think it's like it's not like you can't have a strong identity and a society that is connected to that identity if you don't have it, because America has proven that it does. It can be done, but it would be stupid to not use it when you do have it, right? So you don't need to you don't need to create it. You don't need to create an ancient identity that you don't have. You could create new identities based on a new Genesis story, right? So the foundation of America and the American Revolution is a Genesis story that the American identity and you need a Genesis story. You need legends. You need heroes. You need rituals. You need a story. You need the good guys. You need the bad guys. You need to basically decide who's the in group and who's the out group. If it's ancient, it helps. If it doesn't, you can still do it like America did.
I know a hero, Palestinian hero. You know who's my Palestinian hero? Nayib Bukele, president of El Salvador.
Oh, how is he Palestinian?
Did you know he's Palestinian? But his stance on crime, oh my God, you're violent, straight to jail. Like, that's my kind of Palestinian. You know what I'm talking about? No violence, straight to jail.
He's Palestinian?
Oh, yeah. I had to look it up again because I had heard this before, but he is, his father Armando Bukele Katan was prominent businessman and imam of Palestinian descent whose family's origins trace back to Bethlehem.
Okay, did not know that. Is that true, guys?
That's a good hero. Like if Palestinians, if you could find Palestinians like that in sciences, in technology, that have that kind of attitude, no violence, you're violent, I don't care why, straight to jail. That's you can start building heroes at least. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right, let's look at the next super chat. Ehef saying, could hitting energy hurt their ability to produce drones? Yes, for sure. Or were they smart enough to put that production on separate grid? I mean, if it's on a separate grid, that would make it easier to hit that separate grid without hurting the Iranian people. So that would not be the smart thing to do from their perspective, because that would make the Americans' jobs easy. They would just hit that one grid. Right?
They count on hiding behind civilians.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Ahef, for the super chat. And then we have Amir the Cricket saying, Nahno Nastaslimo, French. Learn it, you'll need it. Okay. I don't know what that means. That sounded Arabic at the beginning. And thank you, Amir. If anybody knows, let us know. You start this comment. You wanted to respond to this?
Yes, love Goldie. And it seems like there's a lot of people within the Iranian diaspora that have this kind of, or are hearing from Iranians inside that have this feeling like infrastructure boom booms are okay. Like it's not just Armin. Armin is highlighting other people that do it. Goldie, Tusi, all these great people in our community are of one mind, and all these great people in our in not, well, I say our community kind of like lovingly as a supportive outsider, but within the Iranian diaspora that have contact with the Iranians in Iran, there seems to be a resounding agreement that it is more important to get rid of the regime than to save the infrastructure.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the preference is that if you find a way to get rid of the Islamic Republic without hitting the infrastructure, that is obviously the preference, right? But why take a chance, in my opinion, if hitting the infrastructure is what we need to be able to liberate Iran, then hit the goddamn infrastructure. Don't even hesitate for 1 second. And I think like many Iranian people, like most Iranian people, I think would agree with that. If that is what is needed to get rid of the Islamic Republic, let's just go for it. That's, I agree with that.
Yes.
Yeah. And then Shauna with the super chat saying, can I just say that I have so much disgust and anger for the people who have made the word genocide so cheap it's basically meaningless. Exactly, like the word racist, for example, became meaningless at some point. Everybody like, oh, this and Nazi, yeah, exactly. These were important words for us to be able to. These words needed to have stinging power, right? It needs to mean something when we label somebody as racist, because there are genuinely racist people out there, and genocide is something that needs to shock people when you hear the word genocide, when actual genocide is happening, and that the shock value of it has been taken away because people just accuse Israel of doing genocide, even though they're doing the very opposite. And thank you, Shana. That's very good.
Something that's funny, not funny. You want to hear something that's funny, not funny? The racist community is more inclusive than the leftist community, because they don't care who you're racist against as long as you're racist. Like they let the Africans be racist against other Africans. Hey, but you're one of the racists. That's fine. They let the Asians be racist against black people because you're one of the racists, right? They're more inclusive of races in the racist club because we're all racist, they say. But the leftist side, if you disagree with one thing, you're out. It's kind of hilarious. I don't subscribe to the racist club. I think all the problems that are put upon race or religion or like even profession are just Marxism infiltrating in a race, a religion, or a profession. But I think it's hilarious.
That is true. Yeah, I've heard that many times. Sean is saying America has like 3 Genesis stories, but that's my favorite part. Yeah, true. That's a good point. Um, I wonder how do you categorize the 3? I would want to know what the 3, which 3 you're counting. But we'll talk about
Probably
that
the
later. Talk about-
the
No,
Pilgrims, the Revolution, and the Civil War.
okay. Thank you. All right, let's go to back to President Trump. Thank you, Shanna.
What is the status of talks? Who is from the administration
Well, they
is
always
talking
want
to
to
the Iran?
talk, but they break their word so often. Steve is talking. Jared, we have very good people. JD's involved, very strongly involved. We have great people talking. Marco's involved.
Because they say talks aren't happening.
Very good people. We have the best people, but they'll make a deal. As an example, we'll talk about nuclear, and we'll be in there talking about nuclear for 7 hours. I say, why do you need 7? You can take 10 minutes. You have 5 minutes. You should solve it. But 7 hours, and then they'll go out, and I'll say they discuss nuclear, and they'll go out and they'll say we never discussed nuclear, and I say why do they say that? All they do is make me angry. You just make me angry. Any other questions?
Do you believe that you can reach a deal with Iran, given that
So, oh my God, let's hear this part.
you talked about how disloyal they are?
I'm losing faith in them because they do lie.
I heard this.
And they do misrepresent. Well, the other day, the 5 missiles were shot. We knocked them down, but we were in the midst of a negotiation. I mean, I'm waiting for Steve to call me. How's the negotiation going? And instead, I got a call from Pete that they just shot 5 missiles at one of our bases in Jordan. And we have bases in Jordan. Fortunately, our people operated the equipment.
What do you think about that?
Like, I hope this is all drunken boxing. That's what I'm hoping. This is all just we're just
Explain.
messing around. We never really believed them. We just want to make believe that we're really, really frustrated, but we're about to do something. I'm cautiously optimistic that this is just talk, because to believe them for a second, it's just so annoying. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I might, people think, people would get annoyed with me if I say this, but I think President Trump is more honest than people think, based on my take. But I might be wrong.
Look, you could be right, but that worries me. You understand what I'm saying? Like that, yeah, you might be absolutely right, and that's terrifying.
What do you guys think? Do you guys think I'm too naive that no, this armament, this is all 5D chess, this is psychological war games? I think President Trump is like says what's on his mind. Yeah,
we're the ones that are coping.
Yeah. I mean, yes. Okay.
We're on that copium. Getting high as a kite on that copium.
No, but I don't know. At the end of the day, who cares? What matters is the results, right?
Look, it's that, okay, so you're looking at him and you see, like, in his eyes, like, maybe this old man, he really wants to be able to have a peaceful resolution, maybe even a peaceful transition of power. You see, like, oh my God, and he's dreaming of some kind of peaceful resolution to end all this. And I'm like, you know what? I can see it. It might be, oh my God, you might be right. It scares me. It worries me. The only thing that kind of, like, calms me on the thought of that you're right is that chances are the reformers won't convince the hardliners, and it'll remain a clusterfuck. Because if the reformers take over, that's a problem. If the reformers, who all they want to reform is the methodology for apocalypse, take over and accept inspections, accept everything, that is a huge problem.
Yeah. All right, let's continue with this. Wait, let me go to the beginning here. Oh, wait, this one, sorry.
I look at countries. I don't know. I look at countries, and
the religion, I think, is a very important factor. And it doesn't have to be Christianity, that's our religion, but it's a very important factor in the success of a country. It's just, you look at some of these countries without religion, they're not happy places. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
And
I don't know about if it doesn't matter under religion. I think if it's Islam is like, I don't know, with that it doesn't matter under religion. I don't know, if I look at Islam around the world, it's not a religion that brings happiness where Islam is. So I think it depends.
This is a comparison between atheist communist and Islamo-capitalists.
Right. And also
what would you say
there are
about that?
So here's the thing. I think there are countries without God that are extremely happy. Some of the happiest countries in the world are without God. I think the problem is communism. The problem is not godlessness, is communism. So if you look at godless countries that are communist, they are horrible, right? There are some, Scandinavian countries, for example, where people are like pretty godless, but it's, they always rank at the happiest countries on the planet. And also when it comes to religion, yeah, many countries who are, have a Christian faith, there's, are happy. Many countries who are Christian faith are not as happy. Like, for example, I don't know, Venezuela, or that have communist Christian countries, or Philippines, for example, people are not as happy on average as United States, even though it's a Christian country. I think the factor, and also we shouldn't give credit. If you want to give credit to Christian religion, don't give it to Islam. Islam, it's not religion that makes you happier. Islam is a garbage ideology that makes your society on average way less happy than other countries. I think the main factor is capitalism. The capitalist countries are on
Okay,
average.
so what about Islamo-communism versus Islamo-capitalism? Is Abu Dhabi happier than
Yeah, for sure.
Afghanistan?
Oh, for sure. I mean, you're still are way less happier than you could be if you if you didn't have Islam. But obviously, if you have the sickness of both Islam and a command economy, you're in a much more shittier situation than a country that only has the problem of Islam, but not a problem of command economy.
I think he's kind of, because I'm just looking at the pattern. They have been speaking a lot about communism, and it's one thing to be godless, and it's another to be anti-God. So those Scandinavian countries, they're probably not anti-religion. But if you go to China and you can't talk about ghosts, there's a lot of like they're anti-Islamic, they're anti-Christian, they're anti a lot of religions, and it's one thing to not have a majority of the population follow any religion. It's another to force religiousness out, to use force to control your mind in that way, to control your expression in that way. Do you see the difference that I'm talking about here?
Yeah. Anyways, I didn't even know President Trump was going to talk about religion also. I thought there was an update on Iran stuff, but let me go back to this other video. Amir, thank you so much for the membership gift. Oh, okay. So Shauna is saying, I think he might have been thinking about Israel. That's why he said not just Christianity. By the way, Amir, thank you so much for supporting us all the time. Thank you so much. But
That could be. I mean, the
careful.
Chinese suffer a lot. They're very unhappy because of their, well, not only godlessness enforced, but communist economy. Like people, like white liberal people in New York might think, oh, the Chinese must be happy because I am only in my bubble and I don't hear from the outside. But if you look at the situation inside China, these people are suffering. They're suffering. Oh
Yeah,
my God,
it's communism. Yeah, it's not like people in Finland are pretty happy.
they're not forced.
godless.
But like I understand that there's people that are atheists that came to your channel, and you would want them represented, and that's very fair of you, and I commend that. But I want to like make that distinction between, okay, you're allowed to be an atheist, and when the state enforces your way of expressing your faith. I see a big difference in that, and China has
Yes.
that big
Yeah.
difference.
Oh yeah, that's a liberty. Exactly. Basically, if you don't have liberty, that's a bigger indicator.
Bingo.
Yes. Fox is saying those Scandinavian countries have a falling birth rate and they are being consumed by people who do believe in things like the Muslim immigrants. Yeah, I completely believe in that. I agree with that. That's a function of two things. That's a function of not having proper patriotism, which you have atheist patriots, you have Christian patriots, and not defending your borders. Plus, when it comes to migration, that's a problem. When it comes to falling birth rates, that is, if you look at studies, that's a fact. That's what happens when a society becomes rich. They end up having a problem with falling birth rates. So the richer, the more prosperous your society gets, the faster your birth rates fall. This is consistent. If you look at, there are exceptions, for example, Israel, but on average, there's the highest correlation with the level of prosperity. It's not because of having faith or not having faith. There are many, even Muslim countries, the more prosperous they get, the richer they get. Christian countries, Muslim countries, godless countries, the more prosperous they get, birth rate falls for some reason, but it does.
I think this also happened in Japan.
Yeah, Japan, everywhere. Every time any society that keeps getting richer on average, birth rate falls and accordingly. Except Israel. And I don't know why that's. I know
They incentivize it. They like, it's not command economy, but they kind of incentivize it a little bit there. And I think the other place was it Poland? There's a place in Eastern Europe that also has like positive growth.
Right. Yeah. So in Israel, actually, there's many factors and there are incentives, but government incentives hasn't worked for some reason in many countries for increasing birth rates. One thing that has worked in Israel is grandparents, apparently. The fact that grandparents take care of your children for some reason is a huge factor. Like when you could go to work and your grandma and grandpa take care of kids. Apparently, that's a major factor. Anyways.
Okay, I'm not doing that. Don't get pregnant. Don't get. Hey, si estás escuchando, no, I'm not doing that. Don't do it.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's continue with this one.
Mr. President, over the next 4 weeks, we'll be hitting them very hard. And at some point they're going to say we just can't take it anymore.
Mr. President, on the Mr. President.
What did you say? This is so low volume. Let me just the capture. We will be hitting them very hard at some point. They're going to say we just can't take it anymore. Oh my God, we heard this so many times. I'm tired of hearing that. I want this to happen. Are you tired of hearing that? I'm tired of hearing that.
Oh, I'm sick and tired of it. Makes me nauseous.
Oh my God. Here, let me see what he says here.
Mr. President.
We've seen these strikes between Iran and the United States for the past 2 days. How do you go about reviving the ceasefire and getting diplomacy back on track? Well, I think we just want to win. We just want to win. We're doing very well. We're trying to be nice as you can be in a situation like that. But they're being decimated. They have no navy. They have no air force. They have no anti-aircraft. Doesn't mean they don't have any capability. They have some, but very little. Questions?
Yeah, so we're trying to be nice. Why? What do you think about that? Why be nice to terrorists?
Look, we just want to win. Is that you should have left it there? That's where I'm at. We just want to win.
Yes. By the way, guys, I know I'm being salty today, but honestly, all of this doesn't mean anything. If tomorrow President Trump comes out and just bombs the crap out of these people and they get Israel in and they finish the job, then then we're going to come back at these here and we're like, yep, it didn't mean anything. They were planning something behind the scenes and everything was moving in the right direction.
We're having a salt off on who's saltier here, you or me. I mean, we're having a little bit of a competition here.
True. Oh, Boboism is saying 20% of Sweden imported Muslims. Yeah, that's the problem with welfare state. What you need to solve that? More patriotism and more capitalism. You have welfare state and weak borders, you get that. So the problem is You need more you need liberty, stronger borders, and capitalism. That's what you need. Yeah.
Yes.
And thank you, Bobism. Yes. Thank you, Bobism. And then Fox with a super chat saying Israel is a good place to point in one of the reasons it goes beyond economics. You are taught in Bible or the Torah to reproduce. It's a commandment. Secular Israelis also have a lot more kids than other people around the world. So there's that as well. But yeah, there's that. That's a good point. I do also think that one thing that, again, people are not going to like me if I say this. I think AI and robotics is going to save a lot of the problems that we have when it comes to productivity because of lower birth rates. So this might look like a problem in more prosperous countries, but I think at some point it's going to stop being that big of a problem. But right now it is a problem. And thank you, folks, for the super chat. Yeah. Oh wow. Oh, interesting. Thank you, Monkey. And then Shauna with a super chat saying, I've heard millennials say they say that they would have more kids if their own parents were more involved. Yes, that's a huge factor. That's one of the biggest factors. 100%.
It helps a lot, but I'm not. Oye, escucha, mija, no hagas eso.
That's one of the biggest factor in Israel that makes them, the fact that their grandparents, I truly believe in the not the nuclear family, like the extended family where everybody is involved, like the whole, like, you have the uncles and the aunties and the grandparents and the kids are all involved, your kids and my kids are playing with each other, all living next to each other. That seemed like such a beautiful model before the nuclear family, the extended family. Thank you, Shana. But that doesn't obviously work. After the Industrial Revolution, it was impossible. And thank you, Shana, for the super chat. And then we got Fox with another super chat saying, in fact, people that are religious typically have more than 2 children. That's true with Catholics and Jews. Yep, it's true. But even with religious people, the more prosperous the society gets, they have less children, even with religious people. It's a fact. And thank you, Fox. Thank you for the super chat. So let's go with, did I play this already? Yes, I think I played this. Yeah, we're trying to be nice. Let's see. Okay, so here, Wall Street Journal reported that big. So we heard all of that, and we're getting salty. But at the same time, they're saying this. Trump has ordered a fresh attack on Iran aimed at getting Tehran to surrender. Okay, so I don't like this. Which could begin as soon as this weekend and would last a few days. He plans to resume heavy military strikes to force the regime to come to the negotiating table. So this is something that we don't want, but it is in line with your prediction if true. You said that you prefer that President Trump goes in and ends it all, finishes the job here with the Islamic Republic. But you thought that there's another round of negotiation and going to the table in between before we get there. So if this is true, if Wall Street Journal is correct here, and that's a big if, I'm not saying if this is true, then your prediction was correct, Monkey.
This will depend a lot also on what is considered a surrender. Because if they're asking for a surrender in terms of accept a transitional government, that's one type of surrender. The other type of surrender is allow inspections, give up the nuclear dust, give up your ballistic arsenal. That's the other type of surrender. If the type of surrender that they're asking for is give up the nuclear dust and all that kind of stuff, that worries me. That's not the kind of surrender deal I want to accept. I want the surrender deal where they say, you know what, we're not even in charge anymore. We can't control the military. Just let me fuck off to Paris. Let Galibaf, Pezeshkian, and who's the other one? It's those two, right? Who are the suits? If you say, okay, we're going to go meet, I'm going to sign all your papers that we surrender, and you're going to let me fuck off to Paris and maybe Spain or something like that. And I'm going to live in Spain. And you're going to, because I surrendered, you left me off the hook. I mean, if the Iranians hunt me down and get me later, oh, well, We're not advocating for any unsanctioned anything, but just give the government to some transitional government. That's a surrender deal I'd like. That's my kind of surrender deal. Will they do that? I doubt it. I think my first prediction will probably be closer to what happens.
Man, yes, I think so too. I think you're right, Monkey. We're gonna be here for a long time then. We gotta. Here's another point. He's Axios again, guys. I know, boo, Axios. I know. I'm just taking into account everything everybody's saying. Axios is saying Trump is considering strikes on Iranian energy infrastructure within days, but has not made a final decision. The proposed attacks are intended to pressure Iran into accepting U.S. ceasefire terms. Israel could also participate. I think if Israel participates, hope they go and finish the job with everybody. Just unleash them completely.
That would be a big indicator.
Yes. Okay, wait, you start a comment, but before we go to that comment, let's see. Shauna just gave us a super chat saying Trump is already replacing the Democrat H1A and H1B slave trade with robotics. Oh my God, I love that.
Yes, because that creates a situation where a worker that you could have gotten from here is going to work for less pay, number one, and number two, under pressure. You know how much advantage you can take care of a person that says, you know what, I'm going to fire you, and if I fire you, you're going back home. That gives way from creepers to take advantage of women. It gives way for basically bad boss slavers to take advantage of workers and make them work more hours. Oh, but I work 10 hours. I'm paying you 8. And if you don't like it, you're fired and you go back to India or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? There's a lot of room to take advantage of people that are in that position, even if they're here legally, even if you're here under an H-1B program. So I don't like it. And I'm not some feminist. Everybody knows I'm not a feminist, but I understand that these dynamics of power are real, right? You could also have a female boss taking care of this young, Indian man's al-Zut power, saying, you got to work it for me. That goes both ways. So I don't like it. I don't like to have a population that has less rights, either illegally or through these kind of programs.
Oh my God. Yep. Okay, you start this comment. What are you saying? Why did you?
We have a comment here, maybe some news. I can't confirm it yet, but we do. I want the chat to know that we appreciate their insight, whatever they're seeing around. So I thought that if this could be another indicator. So lines, points on a graph that draw a line to something might happen soon. I'm cautiously optimistic.
Okay. Yep. Wait, let me read it though. U.S. embassies across the Middle East issued security alerts urging Americans to prepare for possible flight disruptions and consider leaving amid regional tensions. Yes, that's one of the reasons why we said at the beginning of the show that what we're seeing right now looks pretty close to what we saw before, right before February 28th, before Operation Epic Fury started. So there's a lot of resemblance here. So I think I said that on the Persian show. I don't know if I said that at the beginning of the show. Go on, Monkey.
Thank you, Hamlin. And despite our saltiness, we're cautiously optimistic.
We are cautiously optimistic. Okay, so let's see this update over here. This is from CBS News. The U.S. and Israel are preparing a major joint bombing campaign against Iran's energy infrastructure, including power plants and refineries. So this is now CBS News. We had Axios, we had Wall Street Journals, all pointing out to something big happening, saying Trump has not given the final approval, but strikes could begin this weekend. So, the greatest indication. Wait, hold on. Where is that? If I could find it. Okay, I have the biggest indication, the biggest sign that something big is about to start happening. Look at this. Watch this. This is the biggest clue that we have.
And our guys were there. Bing, 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 bing. 5. Bing, 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 bing. right? I don't want to be Biden. I had to be very
I
careful.
like that Marco and Pete have the same reaction. Did you see that? Look at Pete's and Marco's face like at the same time. Like watch their face. Forget Trump. Look at their
Okay.
faces. They're very serious
Okay,
when it
okay.
starts.
Bing, 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 bing.
And our guys were there. Bing, 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 bing. 5. Bing, 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 bing. Right? I don't want to be Biden.
They tried the whole time.
Bing, 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 bing. Okay, now I'm convinced something is happening. Yeah, this is the 5x5. He counted. Bing, 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 bing.
I
bing.
think this is they
Bing,
launched
okay.
5. We took down 5. I think
Oh.
that's what he's talking about.
Does that not make you optimistic? I think something big. Yeah, the 5x5. That's the 5x5. Oh, here's Shauna has a prediction. Thank you, Shauna, for the super chat. Shauna saying, my prediction: 2-week hard strike focusing on launchers, declared victory without regime change, but we would potentially go back in January. You know, if there is no regime change, you know what? I think I see why Shauna was saying that, you know. If there is no regime change, you are going to go back in for sure. If there is another series of attacks and there is no regime change, there's a declaration of victory, and then followed by ceasefire and negotiations. There is no way that you're not going to go back into this. Do you agree with that, Monkey?
I think we could do a long campaign, declare the government not in function, and declare another government. We don't need them to agree for regime change. We don't need to agree that they're a government. We could just, well, it's obvious that they're not a government. Now we ask all other governments that want to have a deal with the future government to deal with these people here. We're setting up we have the funds, and that's what they're going to care about the most. We're going to release all the funds that the UAE has, all the funds that the Saudis have, and we're going to put it all in this big giant bag that's confiscated from their banks, and we're just going to transfer them here. And the Saudis, they're going to give it up. The UAE is going to give it up because what are they going to do? Not. We'll just take it from someone that, like, we have so many mechanisms to make sure they give up the money, just taking their money from somewhere else. Is that okay? You know what? We'll take that from your money that you have over here. We're just going to transfer it in. And the money that you have from them, you just transfer it into that other account. You understand what I'm saying? We could just take it, right? If the Saudis froze some funds of the IRGC, we could just take it from the Saudi funds that we hold and say, yeah, just replace it on your side. You know what I'm saying? And then we could make a big bag and say, yeah, and if you want to make a deal with the new government, well, the money's here. I just took it from you, so you know it's here. You understand what I'm saying? The power that the billions upon billions upon billions of dollars that we can take from their confiscated oil, their confiscated funds from all those regional accounts being in a big bag on a new framework of government that is being created. Most of the Persian Gulf countries are going to want to be in on it from day one. They're going to want to have the better deal of trade. They're going to have the better deal in relations. They're going to want that. So we could just declare it. We don't have to, like, people think that victory means that, oh, they have to accept it. We don't have to care if they accept defeat or not. We could just declare it a victory, but we have to back it with action. The problem we have, we're declaring it a victory, but still giving them a position where we have to negotiate. Well, you can't declare it a victory if you still have to talk to them. When you're the victor, you don't have to talk to them anymore. The thing that makes us look like liars is that we say we won, and then we go back and talk to them. Well, if you won, why are you talking to them? You don't need to talk to them. You won. That's our problem.
You highlighted. You start this comment.
Okay, saltiness is kind of like unhappiness. Some people would say it's anger, but I don't think we're angry. I think we're just kind of like a little bit unhappy, but cautiously optimistic. We will be happier if we saw more boom booms, but we're waiting for the boom booms. That's what I mean by saltiness. Saltiness is sometimes it expresses itself as anger, but it's more like a general unhappiness. Oh, he's a little bit salty on the whole the new Halo game.
We don't need to get into definitions.
Too detailed. My bad.
Yes. Yeah, it's Amir saying 5D Bing Bing. Yes, 5D Bing Bing Bing. Exactly. Thank you, Amir. Thank you for the super chat. Bing Bing Bang Bang. And then we have Fit Over 50 Fitness. Thank you so much for the jewels. And then Zipgun saying, Jew here. The difference is that successful children are signs of high status. The bigger the family, the higher the status. More than a big house, fancy cars are exactly. This is part of Jewish. I think my understanding is that this is, your children and raising them. That's a huge sign of high status among, in Israel and among Jews, and what they do and how they're brought up. And this is a big deal. So it's also culture that has a huge influence on that for sure. And thank you, Zipgun, for the super chat. And then Hamid with a super chat saying, Trump unleashed the dragon. Oh, Trump unleashed the dragon. Israel destroys IRGC. Yes. The Zionists, the dragon of Zion. Unleash the dragon of Zion and this death cult. Yes, that's pretty good. I like that. And then, oh, yes, Salty Tears. Thank you, Hamid, for the super chat, always supporting us. That's where salty comes from. It comes from the
Yes.
tears.
The tears are salty.
Get this. Can you read this, or is it mirrored?
It's mirrored, but I got the message. It's a great message.
Wait, maybe I could fix it. I'm gonna one day make this merch. I promise. But why is it not?
Durka tears.
Durka tears and Kami tears. I think you could do Durka. Oh, did my camera move? Yes.
Yeah, it moved.
Okay, let me fix it.
It's got a mind of its own.
There we go. Okay, so now I have to do more horizontal flip. So now look at this. Yeah, this is my Kami tears. Still warm. Yes, there you go. So now flip back. All right.
I've been watching you so long, and I never knew you were inverted like that. Like now, I saw the real Armin.
No. This is the real one because you could read that. Because in real life, you should be able to read that if I showed that cup to you. So this is a real me. Right?
I'm confused now.
Okay. In real life, if I showed you that cup, you should be able to read it.
Oh, okay. But
Yes.
I can't because this image is inverted, right?
Yes. So this is no. Oh yeah, you're right. That was the real one. Yes. Never mind. Okay. Yes. I'm confused. You're right. That was the real me. Oh, you guys saw the real me. Here, guys. I've been wearing the mask all this time. This is me. You guys.
This one. This is the real one, right?
This is the real me. Now you get to see the real me. I've been fooling you all this time. I've been hiding
all
behind
this
the mask.
time. You thought the flag was on his left. Dun, dun, dun. It's actually on his right. Well, on his left, all right.
Who is this? I don't know this guy. Yes.
The whole
It's
new
okay, guys. I'm back. I'm back, guys. Don't worry. It's me. Okay. All right. Here's some peekaboo. It's kind of like babies. Like peekaboo. I'm back. Cool cup. Yes. Oh wait. We got another super chat saying this is the problem with capitalism. The problem with capitalism is that it makes people too happy. All right. Let me see. iPhone, designer clothes, fancy car, and status items. How to fix it? That's not the problem with capitalism. That's the problem. If you consider that a problem, that's human nature. People want those things with or without capitalism. Under socialist countries, capitalist countries, communist countries, you're talking about human nature. What if people are wanting the wrong thing that is not good for them? That's their problem. Whatever people want, capitalism is the best way to get it. If people realize that the best thing that they, what makes them happier is peace, love, connection to other people, a stable life, financial security, not being in debt, the best way is to get there is capitalism. If people have a misunderstanding of what gives them long-term happiness and they go chase the wrong things, capitalism is also the best way to get there. So capitalism is the best car. If you're going in the wrong direction with the best car, The problem is not the car. The problem is that you're going in the wrong direction. Does that make sense, Sipgun?
I would also add to that some people would say, oh, well, these things are produced through communist slave labor. Yeah, but you don't blame the end buyer, you blame the producer. That's not my fault. So you're going to yell at me because my phone is made out of slave labor, but you won't blame the people that literally enslaved them? What the hell is your problem? I didn't crack that whip. Go get mad at the person that cracked that whip.
Somebody's saying, guys, I think he's sarcastic. Well, I mean, sarcastic or not, that's what people say about capitalism. That
oh yes, like anyone in the chat, if you ever see that we are misinterpreting your comment, you should understand that even if that wasn't your intent, there is a possibility that we can expound on it to make a larger point and help the community understand these things.
Yes, but guys, capitalism is not the best. It's not about you consuming more. Capitalism is about capitalism doesn't, when you hear the word capitalism, what you think is like, oh, designer clothes, people going out to parties and just wasting their time and spending money on useless things. That is those people. Capitalism means people having more access to drinking water, people being able to afford healthcare, people being able to have more leisure time so that they could spend time with their children and grandchildren, people being able to work less and spend time with their, spend more time with their wives, people being able to stay home and reflect on things. Capitalism means that people get to make more money and be more generous and help more people because they're making more money. Because if you are making more money and you're spending all your money on designer clothes, that is not a capitalist problem. That's a you problem. Because the best way to get happy is not designer clothes. The best way to get happy is to be generous and help other people and spend more time making connections with other people. And if you get richer, if you make more money, you could use your money to do that. If you're using your money that you made because you got rich on stuff that is meaningless or makes you happy only in the short term, that is not capitalism's problem. That is your problem.
A lot of people externalize their decisions like, oh, I'm addicted to bad food. Well, that's a you problem. That's not the food's problem. They make bad food too cheap. Well, that's still a you problem. You could exercise. There's things that you could do where you're not blaming the food. Oh, the casinos are taking advantage of me. This game has too many loot boxes. That's a you problem. You control your wallet. If you have little control over your financial decision, that's not the problem of capitalism. That's the problem with you and your consumerism. You finding your identity in things. If you find your identity in Funko Pops and you have a wall full of Funko Pops and a stack full of Funko Pops and a stack full of bills, that's not Funko Pop's problem. That's your problem. You're the one who's been spending your money.
So Fit Over 50 Fitness is saying, now I feel guilty over my clone collection. No, if you're doing it responsibly and you're not going in debt, and it's fine to indulge in short-term pleasures while also realizing that the most of your investment should be in meaningful, because studies show that the highest amount of happiness people get is by being generous, by helping people, and by making deep, long-term, meaningful connections to more people. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to indulge in some short-term pleasures, but I will prioritize those more meaningful long-term pleasures, and I'll whatever else I spend money on, I'll do it responsibly. And that is my job, to figure out how to do it responsibly without hurting other people, and especially without hurting myself by going into debt trying to get short-term meaningful pleasures, right? That's our responsibility. Anyway,
and you smell great.
Yeah, you smell great. Yes. And thank you, Zipgun. And Tinley, thank you so much for the super chat, saying games will be $100 because people willing to pay for GTA 6. Hey, if people are willing to pay for it, that means that's the value of it, right? That means that people produce something. Yeah. All right. Yes. If people are willing to pay it, that means it's worth that much. Okay, let me go with some torture sessions. Yay! Guys, we're doing BDSM with you guys. Okay, what's your safe word?
Crack that whip.
Dominic is saying Guru Armin. Oh, thank you, Dominic. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have said
My safe word is bing, 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 bing.
Bing, 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 bing. Thank you, Dominic. Thank you for the super chat. Guys, say, you can say bing, bing, bing as your safe word. God, oh my God, Karen is taking it back. He's upset with me now. Okay, boom. Like, oh my God, we're having a riot in the chat. No.
We're going to have so many bings in the chat.
Yes. No, Armin. Guys, I just like there's a riot in the chat, guys. Oh my God, look at this. Wow. Okay. Guys, I always show Nick when I need to go pee. Okay, so because I need this break to be able to go and back. Okay, so I just listen to this guy and see what he thinks about the current Iran situation, and we'll respond to him. We need to respond to something negative, okay, guys? It's okay. It's only 5 minutes. You could do this together. We could do this.
I don't see any bings in the chat. We're gonna have to let it roll.
You see, you know what? But people are saying no because I think this is making it more fun for them because they're not using their safe.
That's
word.
not the safe word. The safe word is bing, 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 bing. It's gonna play.
Right. Okay. They're role playing the resistance. That's what's happening. All right, let's play this. I'll be right back.
Consider where the United States sits right now. We are fighting Israel's war against Iran. Americans are dying. We're spending hundreds of billions of dollars fighting their enemy, Iran. Our economy is exploding because of it. And meanwhile, Israel sits on the sidelines. Israel got us into this catastrophic war. They tricked our leader into launching this war. Americans are dying. Our military is running out of standoff munitions. We're spending hundreds of billions of taxpayer dollars. Our economy is imploding. Interest rates are rising because of the effect this is having on us. Even Saudi Arabia is getting bombed. Israel sits on the sidelines. And meanwhile, while we confront what Israel calls the Islamo-fascists across the region, we're fighting these Muslim fanatical 12ers in Iran, and we're fighting the Houthis, and we're fighting the Iranian or Islamic resistance in Iraq, and we're fighting Hezbollah. Well, we are taking on the whole Muslim world all at once. Our military is over there.
Wait. I had to come back fast. Okay. Israel is on the sidelines. Are you kidding me? First of all, Israel wants in bad. Israel is asking to be let in. What are you talking about? Are you kidding me? And Israel has been on the front lines more than any other country. Are you kidding me? Nobody has sacrificed soldiers. But
any other would be a little. I think in the Iran war, Americans are like in the front line.
More than most countries. Right? Is that good? More than most countries? Are you happy?
Yes.
Oh my God, people are bing, bing, bing. Wait. Bing, 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 bing. Okay.
I start all the bings.
How many we got? Okay. All right, guys. Let me know in the chat. Do you guys know? I could do this for you guys because you know what? We are a republic here, so you guys what you guys say matters. Do you guys want me to show you people who disagree with us? Because we've got some bing bings here. Do you guys want it, or do you guys do not want me to show what are the people who are against us think?
Look, and we're going to be honest about the numbers. It was very little compared to the total viewership, so we got to keep going.
Okay, well, you know what? I could do a poll. Do you guys want to do a poll?
Okay, but if we're going to do a poll, let me at least combat what he just said, because there was so much bullshit in every step of what he said. Like, every sentence was, like, arguably bullshit. Like,
Yes, go ahead.
Like, okay, let's let it re-roll to the start, because we can do like just up till like the first 10 seconds of it, and if the no's have it, we can go for it.
So, I mean, I don't know, because I think like it's so important for us to review opposing ideas. I don't even know if I'm gonna. Okay.
Well, here's
Please.
my view on it. Okay, so yes, it's a republic, but it's a representative republic, and as a representative, we have been chosen to make these decisions, and the decision is we have to hear both sides. This
Okay,
isn't
I do
direct
wanna-
democracy.
But I do want to see. So this is not a vote, then. This is a poll to just see what the community thinks. Okay. So should
Okay.
we review opposing ideas or not? Okay. I'll put the poll in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat for yes, we should, and put a 2 in the chat for no, we shouldn't. I'll see. And guys, just a reminder: no means that you want an echo chamber when we don't get to hear other people's opinions and we just agree. Yes. Okay.
Stop the steal.
Wait, you voted on my behalf. Oh my God.
Stop the steal.
Okay, well then I'll vote on your behalf then. There you go.
Oh no.
Oh wow, actually so the ones were the silent majority all this time. So the people who were complaining, they were the minority. Okay, let's continue with Nick. Do you want me to go to the
We canceled each
beginning?
other out. That's the important part of here of what here. Like we weren't even supposed to vote, but we canceled each other out.
Yeah. Wow. It's like close to 100% yes. Very few
Okay,
no's.
so here's the other poll. You say too much, Nick, but would you rather hear Piers Morgan?
Ooh. I mean, it's all
Like
up
if you
for-
got to pick between Nick and Piers, who do you want? I think Nick is gonna win because Nick is just one asshole. Piers comes with 3 or 4.
Okay, let's see what you wanted to. Let me go back to the beginning so you could respond to what you wanted to say, because you wanted me to re-roll it.
You're gonna have to pause a lot, but let
Okay,
him be
tell
ready.
Tell me when to pause. Yeah.
Consider where the United States sits right now. We are fighting Israel's war against Iran.
No. It's
Americans
our war,
are-
and it started 47 years ago. Remember Beirut. Remember GWAT. Remember these guys killed over 1,000 people. It's not Israel's war. Israel has their losses, but this is our war, and it's our continued war. It's our continued commerce at stake. It's our continued energy infrastructure is there. This is our war. This is a lie. Israel's war is just propaganda lies that the IRGC uses through puppets like this bitch. Keep going.
dying. We're spending hundreds of billions of dollars fighting their enemy, Iran.
It's our
economy-
enemy. It's our enemy, and the money that we have spent does not compare to 1 year of California's fraud. Not their legitimate spending, their fraud. So you don't care about the money. Stop pretending you do.
Because of it. And meanwhile, Israel sits on the sidelines.
That's absolute hogwash. They
Israel-
don't sit in the sideline. They go in the strikes with us. They've been together with us every step. That's just a lie.
Got us into this catastrophic war. They tricked our leader into.
They didn't trick our leader. No one tricked our leader. We were the ones that said, because of our intelligence, that they have the ballistic capability to reach Diego Garcia, aka the EU, which is the same distance, and that was true. And they did admit themselves, and we knew that they had the nuclear material to create 11 bombs, which is a clear and present danger. They didn't trick us. The facts are what got us in. It wasn't a trick. Go on.
Launching this war, Americans are dying. Our military is running out of standoff munitions. We're spending hundreds of billions.
America is not running out of standoff munitions. We have expended a lot of standoff munitions. We do have to re-equip. That doesn't mean we're running out. Running out is a very exaggerated term for what's going on.
Of taxpayer dollars. Our economy is imploding. Interest rates are rising because of the effect this is having on us.
That's a complete lie
Go
about
on.
the economy, where our economy is not imploding. And I don't think our interest rates are at what he's describing. So another lie.
Even Saudi Arabia is getting bombed. Israel sits on
They've
the
been getting
sidelines.
bombed from
United
the
States
start.
sits right now. We are fighting Israel's war against Iran. Americans are
why is
dying.
it-
We're
do you hear
spending
two
hundreds
audios?
of billions of
I
Okay,
am getting
there-
2 audios, but I don't know why. Oh, it's Twitter did a
the-
funny thing.
Yeah, Twitter did a funny thing again.
dollars fighting their enemy, Iran. Our economy is exploding because of it. And meanwhile, Israel sits on the sidelines. Israel got us into this catastrophic war. They tricked our leader into launching.
We went over this a little bit.
Yes. So whenever you want me to, if you have a comment that you just want to add, just add it. But if you want me to stop, just say stop it, so I know when to stop.
Okay.
And then say go when you want me to go.
All right.
Americans are dying. Our military is running out of standoff munitions. We're spending hundreds of billions of taxpayer dollars.
We covered this. Let it
Our
go.
economy is imploding. Interest rates are rising because of the effect this is having on us.
Bullshit.
Even Saudi Arabia is getting bombed. Israel sits on the sidelines.
This is a lie.
And
This is
meanwhile-
stop. This is a lie because Saudi Arabia was getting hit from the start, right? What happened was that their the hits against Saudi Arabia were reduced. They always got hit less, and I think at the beginning most of what was sent their way got stopped before it hit, if I remember correctly. But since the start, since at first it was at Israel, when they saw that wasn't going to work, they started launching at everybody, and Saudi was one of those targets. Go.
While we confront what Israel calls the Islamo-fascists across the region, we're fighting
That's what
these
they are.
Muslim fanatical 12ers in Iran, and we're fighting the Houthis, and we're fighting the Iranian or Islamic resistance in Iraq, and we're fighting Hezbollah. Well, we are taking on the whole Muslim world all at once. Our military is over there fighting the Muslims on Israel's behalf so they can expel
on our behalf.
Palestinians.
That's not why we're doing it. That's a lie. That's such a lie. We are killing Iran so that Israel can kill Palestinians. That doesn't even make sense. If Israel wanted to wipe out Palestine, it could do it. This statement makes no sense. We are taking on the IRGC, the Hezbollah, the Houthis, and Hashd al-Shabi. Wait, what was it? Oh my God.
That's right.
The PMF. We're taking that so that Israel can kill Palestinians. Is that why we're doing it? That's the most retarded, illogical take that there can be. Israel could carpet bomb Gaza. What's anybody going to do about it? What's anybody in the Middle East going to do about it? Who is going to do anything? Is the International Criminal Court going to send out another arrest order? Who the fuck is going to do anything? No one is going to do anything. If they wanted to go in door by door and take everybody out of Gaza, they could. This is ridiculous. Oh, we have to do all this just so that Israel can kill Palestinians. That is ridiculous on its face. Go.
In the meantime, Israel is sending Muslims into Europe to destroy our civilization.
That's even more retarded. Who is sending Muslims into Europe? A whole bunch of NGOs, a bunch of companies that don't want to pay Spaniards labor. They don't want to pay Americans labor. They want cheap labor, so they send that. So let me get a donation to this leftist group. Goes into some NGO like UNRWA in the UN, and you have the UN and all these fucking NGOs flooding Europe. That's not. Do you think the Jews want the Islam to take over NATO's intercontinental nuclear ballistic missiles? You think that's what they want? You really think Israel wants the UK to be the first Islamic UK to become the first Islamic nuclear power in Europe? Is that what you want? Is that what you like, Israel? Oh my God, I can't wait till UK is an Islamic nuclear power. over there in Europe. Oh my God, this is my brilliant plan. It doesn't make any fucking sense. This wasn't ever the plan. And if you look at the trace of the funding of who is aiding all these people to go up from Africa into Europe, it's the UN, it's the NGOs.
We are occupying the Middle East, fighting Muslims so that Israel can ethnically cleanse their territory. Meanwhile, we're letting Muslims invade Europe through the back door as a punishment for not supporting this.
We are doing none of this. Stop. The person who's doing this is Europe. Europe is letting Muslims in through the back door because European leftists know that the Muslims are going to vote as a bloc in their favor. If you want to blame anything, just like every fucking time I say it, it's not the white people, it's the leftist white people. It's not black people, it's the leftist black people. It's not the Jews, it's the leftist Jews, right? It's not the Christians, it's the leftist Christians. It's not the atheist, it's a leftist atheist. This isn't about, it's not the Hollywood, it's a leftist in Hollywood. This is not about a profession, a race, or a creed, or it's none of those things. It's the leftist. The problem was always the leftist. We could take every fucking time you say Jew out of your mouth and put the word Marxist in there and you'd be right. If we took your speech, erased every time you said Jew or Israel and put the word Marxist in your mouth, you would be absolutely right. But you can't, because you built your audience on this, you built your castle on this sand. And now you got to piss on it to make it a little bit more solid. So keep pissing in your sandcastle. It's not going to stay solid forever. Just wear the yarmulke, bro. Play.
By the way, not even withstanding, didn't we elect Trump to put a stop to exactly this arrangement? When Trump was propelled into office, we were in the middle of the Syrian refugee crisis. It was the same story. The United States is occupying Iraq. We're bombing Syria. And in the meantime, the Syrians are just moving into Europe.
About? Wait a minute. Stop.
Cutting people's heads off. And
Stop. This is crazy. This is crazy. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What do you mean Trump was going to stop the occupation of Iraq? The occupation of Iraq? What is he talking about? This doesn't even make any sense. Well, the only thing that Trump said about Iraq is we should have taken the oil. And I think that's what he's doing now. He's making deals with the local government to take to get, oil relations.
He did say we attacked the wrong country. Like we should have.
Yes, but that doesn't mean that Saddam was a good guy. What we said is like we left the problem stewing. Like he was about ending wars. That's why he ended the war in the Congo. That's why he ended the war with a whole bunch of nations. Said, look, if your problem is you're fighting each other for resources, we got resources for you, for both of you, but you got to stop fighting. We're going to start buying your shit. But we're only going to buy your shit if you two stop fighting and start producing shit. If you don't produce shit, I don't give you shit. And if you go back to fighting, we're not buying your shit. So what are you going to do? And that's how he stopped lots of fights in Africa. Right, but saying that we elected Trump to stop the war in Iraq. No, we didn't. What is he talking about? This has nothing to do with Iraq. The Syrian refugee crisis, yeah, that might have been a problem. And what was our solution? Jolani. A lot of people don't like that solution, but I don't think having Russia control that territory through fucking al-Assad, I think that was his name, was any better.
Yep.
And I don't think he was a nice guy at all. He wasn't nicer than Jolani.
Let's go through this. Yeah.
Becoming Republican leader who is going to make Trump.
Oh, yeah, we were here.
That is part of why Trump got elected in the first place. Trump said, we're going to get out of Syria. We're going to get out of Iraq. We're going to ban Muslims from coming here, and we're going to rebuild America. And where do we find ourselves now? We're in Iraq. We're bombing Iran while we're letting the Muslims pour into Europe. And we're spending all our money fighting Israel's enemies.
Okay, stop. I know what he's talking about. He's exaggerating our presence. Like, because we have a base there, that means we are militarily occupying them, not just have some ground concessions in a place. Oh my God, that's a lie through exaggeration. He's exaggerating our presence in these places to mean that we are occupying these places. That, chat, he's lying, right? Like a lot of people that are they're like, look, I don't have time for fucking politics. I'm just gonna watch one guy, and they pick, okay, this guy seems okay, and they just listen to him. But he is grossly exaggerating our presence in Iraq, and we might have a deal where we leave completely, right? Or we just keep a base, or we leave. It doesn't because we don't need to stay. Right? Depends on how the deal goes. If we build up their military to a place where, well, they know it's their interest to not have anything to do with fucking the PUK or Iran, so they have ability to defend themselves from them, and they have good business deals with us, we don't have to be there. They can use their own military to keep those peoples out. That's why we try to make a deal between Israel, Lebanon, and ourselves, so that Lebanon could be rid of these fucking Hezbollah occupiers, and they themselves control their own territory and not need Israel in there or us in there, because they just stop attacking Israel. Because I'm sure Israel doesn't have a want or a need for Lebanese territory. They just don't want to get fucking bombed. But that's a gross exaggeration of the situation and relationships. Go on.
As when Trump got elected. And now our only hope is that people are so pissed off about Trump, they elect a leader that makes Trump look to liberals like Trump made John McCain look. That's the only answer now. We need a coming Republican leader who is going to make Trump look like Mitt Romney by comparison.
Okay, stop.
That
I know who he's talking about. Rubio.
Oh, why?
Who would make Trump look like Mitt Romney? There's only two people I can think of: Rubio and Hexeth.
He's helping us get there.
Well, he's saying there's no option. He's basically saying there's no option because there's no out except winning. I'm guessing.
And he also constantly attacks JD Vance, which is actually so helpful because his people are the most likely people to vote for JD Vance. So he's actually.
But it is. He said so many lies there. If you could take this and switch it out, do some kind of voice trick to make him say Marxist every time. Like I would take I would make a whole account where I just took his words, his clips, and made him say Marxist every time he says Israel. Leftist, Marxist, leftist, Marxist, leftist in Europe, and leftist, like switch it all in, and then like he would start to make sense, because the problem is the Marxist. It's not the Jews, it's not the Europeans, it's the leftist Europeans. It's not the Jews, although they're not as involved as he claims. It's the leftist Jews that are a problem for Jews in Israel. Who it's not in America? It's not the Americans that are a problem. It's the leftist Americans. The leftist Americans with Jimmy Carter that helped the Ayatollah. Go on.
That's the only solution at this point. People talk about taking up arms and things like that. You'll just get crushed. You'll just get crushed. That's all this government does. You have criminals and opportunists and predators. They're marauding all the time. There are no consequences. They shoot, stab, kill, and steal with impunity. Anybody that tries to put a stop to it gets immediately hunted down and arrested.
That's in leftist
Europe liberating
cities.
Just a leftist.
Yeah, that's in leftist cities.
So he's misdirecting the enemy. Everything, all the I think
yes,
everything, all the time, guys. All the source of our problems, most of the source of our problems is woke left, woke right, communist, Islam. Am I missing anything, Monkey? That's the four. The enemies of liberty. All right. And he's basically all the problems associated with these sources. He's just trying to make it seem like it's Jews. So number one is just Jews. Number two is the Jews. 3 Jews, 4 Jews. Like he's always trying to just blame the Jews. Yeah.
Okay,
What
there
else?
are 4, but it's Jews, and current administration.
Which is but current administration, which is a puppet of Zionist Jews, still Jews.
But he throws it in there though. Like this
Yes.
is when he's talking about voting, this is the effect he has on voting. Like that has to be like taken in, because it doesn't matter how much he hates Jews if it doesn't affect the voting in Israel. But if it affects the voting here, we have to take into account that he's blaming the current administration to affect votes here.
But anyway, guys, I see we got a lot of super chats. We'll get to them soon.
Europe. Forget about fighting.
Here's the
Iran.
other thing. Wait, hold on. Here's another thing. If he hates JD Vance, always has hated JD Vance, knows Trump is leaving in 2 years, he has to get on the Rubio bandwagon soon. And the only way to get on the Rubio bandwagon is not to go anti-interventionist, is to right now start saying, hey, we got to go big or go home. Our only options is to get someone harder than Trump. Someone that makes Trump look like Mitt Romney, because that way, when the next election cycle goes, he's going to say, look, I've been telling you since 2 years ago, we got to get someone harder than Trump. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep. All right, let's continue.
We should be liberating Europe. Why are we helping Israel expel their Muslims? We should be helping Europe expel their Muslims. We're literally bombing
Africans.
Iran in a submission.
Help me out here. Where are these populations from? How far is Morocco from fucking Israel? That has nothing to do with Israel. Go on.
So that Israel has a free hand to expel all the Muslims in their borders and make their country utopia. You do understand that's what's happening, right? Israel is creating a Jewish.
This is very, very sneaky. This is very evil, because he has taken advantage of the American aversion to maps. Maps and Americans don't get along. So if Americans look at Israel on a map and they look at where Morocco is, they're going to say, wait a minute, I don't think that these people in Morocco, these Moroccans over here are switching over to some Spanish territories, have anything to do with Israel controlling its surroundings. This is evil. He knows our weakness. He knows our weakness is maps. This is diabolical. Go on.
No state where they have free healthcare and free education and free everything, and they don't want to encounter any Muslims or Arabs. They want to push them out as far away as possible. The only reason they can't do that is because Iran exists. So we're bombing Iran so that Israel can create their Jewish supremacist utopia, and they can cleanse their borders.
Let's stop it right
of their
here.
world.
Let's stop it right here. If you look at who the populations are that are going to Europe, it's not Jordan. It's not people from Jordan. It's not people from Iran. It's people from Pakistan. It's people from India. It's people from Africa. These are all places far away from even the Greater Israel Plan. Even the Greater Israel Plan doesn't go into these places. This has nothing to do with the populations that are actually entering Europe. He is completely lying about the demographics that are entering Europe, because the demographics that are entering Europe are not, they're not Egyptians. Who surrounds Israel? It's not Egyptians. It's not people from Jordan. What the fuck is he talking about? It's bullshit. It's people from Pakistan. It's people from Africa. It's people from India. That's the demographics that are invading. It has nothing to do with Israel or their tinfoil hat Greater Israel Plan. Like, even within the framework of his normal conspiracy, this is an absolute lie. Go on.
And in the meantime, we're letting the Muslims come into Europe. Why aren't we in Europe doing the same? We should be in Europe kicking these people out. We should be invading Europe. Europe doesn't have drones. Ukraine has drones. Europe doesn't have drones. We could go into Europe, and if they tried to stop us, we could just shut down their air force. We control Europe. We should disable all of Europe's military. We should occupy Europe and we should kick all those people out. Wouldn't that be better? We should be in America doing mass deportations. Why is our military not deporting 20 million illegals from America? Once again, we're fighting Israel's wars while we let the diversity come in through the back door of our country in Europe.
You know what? Let him finish. Let him finish. Just like a few seconds left. Like 10 seconds.
It shouldn't be like this. It should not be like this. That was the entire promise. What's the excuse? And Trump is aiding and abetting the invasion of Europe this time.
Okay. He is getting on board with someone harder than Trump because he knows that whoever comes to follow Trump has to be harder. Vance's chance, not only does he not like Vance, Vance's chance are lower and lower every day. He's trying to get on board. Someone harder has to come train. He is using most malevolently. He knows that Superman has kryptonite, right? And you know when Superman gets near kryptonite, he gets very weak and he can't do anything. This is something that happens with Americans and maps. And because we don't understand maps and we have an aversion to maps, like we have to go to the military and train a lot on maps because most Americans, civilians, don't like maps at all. They know one map, the map of America, and most of them can't find all 50 states on a map. They know like the 3 surrounding them. They call it the tri-state area. Like most Americans know the tri-state area, and then if you give them a blank map, they can't name which state is where. So this is our kryptonite. He is taking advantage of our weak spot and pretending that the demographics that are flooding into Europe have anything to do with the nations around Israel. This is diabolical. Okay, listen. Obviously, some people in the chat, we have a sliver of the fucking American population that's the smart ones. So obviously, if you like maps, I'm not talking to you. I love you. All right. But you can't tell me that the exceptions make the rule. Okay. You guys are exceptional people. That's why you love map. And I love all you exceptional people in the map, but you got to understand the exceptions don't make the rules. And the rule is Americans know the tri-state map. They don't know more. You see some people chiming in with their tri-state. That's fine. That's good. Love you too. But Americans, it's their kryptonite, and this is diabolical that Nick is taking advantage of our kryptonite. This is so evil.
Consider where the United States sits right now.
We already finished it. Let's go to our super chats. But guys, that was helpful. Monkey, you were at your best. I actually like the way you take this down. You actually, guys, wasn't that helpful? The way that the monkey went through this? You dissected this video. You basically destroyed it. Like there's honestly, I think you could do it. You would do great at a debate against Nick Fuentes. What do you think? What do you guys think in the chat?
I would debate him, but I would just end up telling him, "Come on, you got a little Jew in you. Come on, take down the calamari, put the yarmulke on. You really want to stand with Candace Owens? Really, you want to do that? Come on, look, this is real easy. All you got to do is say this. You know what? It wasn't the Jews. It was the Marxists. It was the Marxists in Israel. It was the Marxists in America. It was the Marxists in Europe. That's all you got to do. And you know what? The most amazing part is if you start saying like that, you won't not only will the people believe it, you will believe it yourself, because that's the fucking problem. That would be my convincing strategy. So no, it's the Jews. Is it the Jews really? They're all just one people, just all agree magically. Really? Come on. You know better. Wear the yarmulke. It looks good on you. You know what? I'm gonna tell you something, Nick. You always look like you have one on. Like if you look at most pictures of you from your show, you look like in the back of your head, there's a yarmulke. It looks like it's already there. If you put one on, they wouldn't be able to tell. It looks like it's already there.
It does. Okay. Let's go back to Trump. I think people had enough. Guys, that was just because I had to go and come back, and you guys accepted. I saw the poll. Around 90% of you guys said that sometimes, you know what? I'll reduce the dose. How about that? I'll reduce the dose of garbage people, but every once in a while we have to just check in upon our ideological enemies, and then we'll come back. Okay, just a tiny bit. Like we wouldn't do it as much, but just a little bit here and there. Okay.
Look, it's like the gym.
Yeah.
Your muscles hurt, but you get stronger.
You know, the Jewish people in the chat are getting upset that you want to make him a Jew because they're like they don't want him. So consider that
Oh,
as
you
well.
don't have to accept them. The Jewish people probably have a lot of people that are Jewish that they don't accept.
All right. And Dominic is saying fair. All right, good. So before we go to Trump, let's actually see some super chats. Eel? I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. How do you pronounce this? Okay, it's
Elog?
Elog saying, like and subscribe, you legends. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Look, we get a super chat and then we get it instead of just you guys send the super chat to recommend people to like and subscribe. Thank you so much, Elog.
And that's a cool avatar.
That's is it? Oh yeah, it's pretty cool. Reminds me of Ida. Oh, Elog and Ida. They might be related. Thank you. Zipgun with a super chat saying it's communism. Yeah, exactly. People aren't
No,
born
consumerism.
Consumerism. Well, okay, let me see. It's consumerism. People aren't born wanting iPhones. Oh, yes, they are. People are born wanting things, wanting items, wanting. So here's the thing: put two babies next to each other, okay? Give one of them without training them anything, like pay babies, like 1-year-old. Give one of them a toy, okay, and then watch the baby play with it a little bit, and then go take that toy from the baby, give it to the other baby, see how she would react. They'll go and just take it from them while they're playing. All right. People want things. People want items. Okay, it's part of our biology. Okay, especially if it's brings status. The status game is part of our biology. It's part of our biology, and our possessions are a way to demonstrate status. So since birth, we are obsessed with fairness and we're obsessed with status since birth. This is biology. It's not the iPhone. Okay, the iPhone itself is not what we're born to want. What the iPhone represents. So it's like a designer cloth or bag it's not the cloth. It's the message. It's this goes back 300,000 years. You might have a bigger club. You might have a bigger, I don't know, leather. I don't know. You might have something. You might have a nicer cave. It doesn't matter. It could be an iPhone. It could be a bigger house. It could be a bigger cave. It could be a bigger club. It could be better hunting skills before civilization. It's still the same thing. It has always been the same thing. I'm saying how to elevate the status of things like family, charity, etc. I agree in individual responsibility, but it has social benefits. Well, see, here's the thing: capitalism is not supposed to solve all your problems. Okay, when it comes to here's the thing: actually, it can help, right? If you want more focus on charity, family, right? So the people who want to be able to to educate people and advocate for that, they need more free time. They need to be able to make a living advocating for those things. Capitalism itself cannot push for those things, right? So if I buy you a nice car and you tell me like this car doesn't automatically take me to that destination, it's true. You have to sit in that car and you have to drive it, and you have to make the decision to drive towards that destination. If your destination is family, charity, kindness, and all of that, capitalism doesn't automatically do that for you. But what capitalism does for you is provide you the resources for you to be able to not only to be able to make that decision for yourself, but also provides you the resources to try to advocate for those things for other people. If you want to encourage people focusing on family, then with capitalism, you would be able to gain the resources to advocate for that, to bring an institution around it, to make profit promoting products that brings family values, right? Or we want to make people more charitable. Well, you could build a charity, or you could also build an organization that makes profit by finding ways to encourage charity in more people. There's that. All of this is possible because of the resources that capitalism provides for you. So capitalism automatically doesn't do these things for you, but it provides you with the resources if you want to make the decision to advocate for those things. And it's the most efficient, profitable, because it needs to be profitable to be sustaining, self-sustaining, right? Whatever you want to promote, whether it's family values, it's charity, or anything else, it needs to be, if you turn it into a for-profit company, then it will become sustainable because it will grow promoting those things. And that's what capitalism provides for you. Does that make sense?
Yes. I would say if society is raising your kids to be consumerists, that's your fault because you're supposed to raise your kids, not society. If you let society raise your kids in wrong, they're going to be crazy Durkas wanting to die for Allah. If you let society raise your kids in fucking America, they're going to be purple-haired land whales that want to cut off their peepees when they're 10. You can't let society raise your kids. They're going to fucking kill themselves. You have to raise your kids. You have to teach your kids their worth. You have to teach your kids what's an investment, when it's good to give yourself a little prize, when you have to be hard on yourself, when you have to take it back a little bit and maybe not be so hard on yourself. You have to do that. You can't leave it up to society to take care of this because you're too fucking busy. If you're too fucking busy to raise a kid, that's on you. You can't let society do that for you. That's your responsibility as a parent. You can't say, oh, my kid's a consumerist. Why? Because you sat him in front of the fucking TV all day. That's why he's a consumerist. If you didn't sit your fucking kid in front of the fucking TV all day and showed him a fucking, a shitload of fucking commercials, they wouldn't be a consumerist. So you can't put it on. And I'm not. I am. Okay. Let me dial it back. I'm not directing this at you, Zipgun, because I get all up. I'll get all excited, right? Because I don't want my kid to be like that. And what I did is like, this is what you have to do. You have to tell them, hey, don't let yourself think that these things are what give you status. Don't let yourself think that this is where your value comes from, right? You can't let the TV raise your kids, because if you're going to look at the ultimate symbol of consumerism and where it comes from, it's the TV, it's the commercials. And right now it's the ads in your phone and the videos and the celebrities that are getting promotions and fucking in the, what do you call it, sponsorships in their podcast and their videos and their streams. You got to teach them, hey, these guys don't really believe that. You are responsible for how they're raised. You can't let society raise your kids and then complain that they're consumerist. That's not how it works. That's your responsibility as a parent. If you let society will fucking kill your kids. You can't let them raise your kids.
Right. We got that. But one thing I want to mention, if by consumerism you mean consuming meaningless, harmful things, then all of that is true, Zipgun. But there's nothing wrong. But I'm not negating anything Monkey is saying, right? I just want to be clear. Consumerism itself, there's nothing wrong with it. Consumerism is living, right? Life itself is about consumerism. It's just a negative way of mentioning it. Since the beginning of life, bacteria, every living cell consumes oxygen and carbohydrates to live. Like you, from day one of your birth, you consume until the day you die. We drink water, we eat food, we need stuff. Consumerism has nothing to do with capitalism. Since before civilization, we went into nature because we needed to find plants to eat, meat to hunt and eat. That's consuming stuff. We needed to find tools to build, to consume the tools to be able to go get the things that we needed. There's absolutely nothing wrong with consuming. If people are making the wrong decision on what to consume, when you're like, oh, consumerism. When I buy a book and read a book, I'm consuming things. What's wrong with me buying? I'm consuming that book. When I go pay for education so I could get better job, I'm consuming educational content. I'm consuming that. I'm consuming education. When you're watching this content, you're consuming content here. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with consumerism. People not having the right priority over what they're consuming. Even when you go and donate to charity, that's consumerism, because that's the company that is providing you a service. You have a desire to be kind to people, and that company is making it easier for you and providing you a service, and you're consuming their service. The service is charity, and you're consuming that service of charity. Even when you go to church and worship, the church is a service. They're providing a service for you to consume the act of that's a service that they're providing for you. There's absolutely nothing wrong with consumption. Consumption is the same thing as living. Not having individuals not making the right decision for what to prioritize when they're consuming, that is the issue. By the way, that doesn't negate what Monkey is saying. But
Listen, this is all propaganda for oxygen consumerism. They just want you to consume up all the oxygen. You know, you guys got to stop breathing. I think someone said in the chat, a good word for consumer is customer. You're just a customer. You're just buying stuff you want. And another thing, I want to thank Zipgun for providing this for analysis.
Yes.
We don't want you to feel attacked. We don't want anyone in the chat to take one comment and make a judgment of this person's whole life. This person had a thought, and a lot of people, even on the right side, said, "Look, we're being taught to love products instead of people, and we got to understand the balance. You can't become addicted to things against your own interest, right? I would say over consumerism of unnecessary things that bring an unbalance to your life is bad, because then you can't consume correctly, you can't grow, and you can't be a good steward of your economy, and that doesn't let you grow into other areas where you could be helpful if you want to."
Exactly. Okay, we got Ghalibov profile pic here. Wow, we have our own Ghalibov. I still don't know what that thing in his ice cream is. Is that a finger? Anyways, Ghalibov with the super chat saying Trump says a lot he wants certain people to hear. By saying the things he says, the whole sees and will have to say he tried everything. He hopes the world sees they left him no choice. You know, Ghalibov, here's what I would agree with you, and here's what I would say I can't know. What I agree with is that is the effect. If they eventually go out and finish the job, whether Trump intended it to be what you're saying or not, that is the effect. And I agree with that. And honestly, who really cares what the intentions are as long as the effect is what you're saying? But I think, Monkey, what do you think?
Yeah, he may just drag it out so long that even the left is like, "Oh my God, just kill them all."
Yes. Yeah, Ghalibov, you might be correct. You might be correct. But let's just get it done with already. We're tired. That's what, Monkey, I agree. Tinley saying, never forget Fuentes is LPSC propped up agent. I don't know what that is.
I don't know what LPCS is. I'm sorry. I apologize.
So if you know, hold on. Okay. If you know, you know. If you don't know, then I don't know if you're losing much. Here, let me see. I could just quickly. Okay, well, let's go to the next super chat where that loads up. And thank you, Tinley. We got Fox saying AI could usher a new era of single income families. Thanks to capitalism, the poorest people live better today than richest people in the 1920s. Yeah, I mean that's true. I mean, what we're like, the people in the 1920s, if they looked at our lives right now, they would be like, what are you guys all like kings and queens? Like, what are you doing? You go into your room and you press a button and it lights up and you control the temperature of your house, and you turn this and then water comes down from the ceiling at the temperature of your desire. Like, honestly, kings and queens didn't live like that for thousands of years. You press a button and food of your choice comes to your house. Like guys, no, Marie Antoinette didn't live like that. Marie Antoinette didn't live like that, and most people now live like a life that Marie Antoinette couldn't control the temperature of her room. Marie Antoinette couldn't get the entertainment that you have access to, or the diversity of the food that you have access to. Middle class people are living lives today that the richest kings and emperors in history couldn't even dream of. We're not living like kings. To them, we're living like gods. For 10,000 years of civilization, the life that you're living today, thanks to capitalism, is not the life of kings or queens, is the life of gods. And this is only the beginning. This is only the beginning. AI is going to usher something completely different. And thank you.
Absolutely. We are doing much better than we give ourselves credit for. Now, I want to add a caveat, small caveat. This is Western civilization. Like if you live in Africa, like you may have the technology. Like if you live Africa and you got a phone that connects to the internet, hey, you know what? You're still better than a lot of African warlords as far as your information. You have the intelligence to process all this. Well, that's a IQ thing to talk about. But like in the Western civilization, I see a lot of people complaining a lot, and you guys have no idea what you got.
I would say, I've been to some farthest villages of the poorest countries on earth. Okay, I would say that an average person, even in a village of a third world country, based on what I've seen, lives better than Marie Antoinette. Marie Antoinette was not that long ago, because I know even in an average town in Africa, in a poor, when you go to the dentist, when they pull your teeth out, they give you anesthetics. Marie Antoinette had to get tortured experiencing that pain without anesthetics, right? When I went to the villages of third world countries, poor villages of third world countries, children there, they had smartphones. Poor villages in third world countries, they had smartphones. They were watching YouTube. Marie Antoinette had to go to Paris once every month to be able to see a theater, and then they built a theater in her castle as well in their mansion, But the entertainment she had access to is absolutely mind-blowingly boring compared to what the average kid in a village in Africa has access to on their YouTube. So, yes, I would say even third world country. Yeah.
I would also say that you had these experience, but you also went to Japan, and I'm very jealous.
Yes. Oh, thank you. No, I mean, well, how about this? Well, I'll take. Once Iran is free, we'll go and see Iran together. You want to do that, Monkey, one day?
I would like to be a monkey in Iran.
Iran.
That would be how I would do the stream. A monkey in Iran. You don't get to see from you don't get to see me in Iran, but you get to see my point of view.
Yeah, that's good. We'll do that. I've been to more than 30 countries so far, but the country that I should have appreciated the most and I didn't when I was in it was Iran, and that's why I can't wait to go back. All right, let's go to Zipgun saying Armin, benevolent dictator. What did I put a vote out there? It's a republic here, not a dictatorship. Okay, fine. You guys voted for more of Nick Fuentes. Remember that. And thank you, Zipgun.
He may have been kidding.
I know, I'm kidding. Also, Carolyn Texas, thank you so much for being a member for 4 months. Saying I will vote one if we also look at supporting views. We do most of the time, yeah, for sure. Yes, okay, yeah, I will. Supporting views. You know what? I have something for you. Supporting views. Where is he? Okay, you know what? Before we go to the rest of super chats,
I remember one we did. Remember when we were talking about international law and I played Ask Khabib when he talked about international law?
Oh,
that's a supporting
yes,
view.
there you go. Yes, and we love playing Rubio here a lot. What is he saying here? I have no idea.
Well, I think they mean commentators, not people in government. like a commentator, like a Nick, but on our side, that kind of thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe I should do more of that. But now that I have Rubio on, let me just listen to what Rubio is saying.
In China, be it economic or be it military, God forbid, would be catastrophic for both countries and for the world. So we have to manage that, but we can't walk away or forfeit our national interests. So this is the hard work of foreign policy, and it requires every administration to sort of balance these two competing tugs against us.
Wait, this one is better. Let me bring this one.
Oh, who is interviewing him?
China, be it
Fox News. God forbid the U.S. and China end up in a conflict. Ooh, never mind. I don't want to get into
I mean, who's the lady?
Oh my god! Oh my god! Monkey.
Never mind. Shut up. Shut up.
You know.
No, but I believe there's a big problem with China, and one of the big problems with China is their economy is fucking tanking. Their economy is going very, very badly, and I think that the best weapon we have against them is offshoring and friendshoring.
The videos that they cut of Rubio are so short. I wanted the 2-minute, 3-minute version of it, but it's okay.
I saw a long one with him, but as far as China goes, that's pretty much what he said about it.
Yeah. Anyways, let me go back to Super Chats because we need to finish these. We got Elisheva saying, freedom soon. Love you guys. US, Israel. Is that Canada? I think Canada. Yes. Thank you, Elisheva. And also, that's the lion and sun flag with the 3 hearts and the lion. Thank you. Yeah, love you too. Thank you for being a member for 1 month. And then we have Texas Tucker Jeff saying, "Oh crap! I came into Fuentes. Here's to some monkey business."
Appreciate you. I hope you like how I broke down his bullshit and called out his use of our kryptonite, which is maps. It was despicable.
Guys, wasn't Monkey's takedown of Nick Fuentes epic? I mean, come on. Like that's why I wasn't talking. You guys notice? Usually when I play Nick Fuentes, I respond. But I was like, let the monkey at him, right? I think he was really good. That's why. Didn't you guys appreciate letting the monkey chimp out at Nick Fuentes? I enjoyed it. I think he did a great job.
I appreciate that you enjoyed it. Like, if no one else on earth would have liked it, just that you liked it, that would make my day.
No. Oh, thank you, Elisheva for the 2 jewels. I appreciate it. That's a beautiful name. I could pronounce it better. 40 winks with a super chat saying, boomers are saying large families equal shared work and independence. Zoomers think no children and trust strangers, illegals to work cheaply. So why have kids? Okay, shared work and independence. Zoomers think. Okay, so you're saying basically the boomers, they want a large family so that they could share their work and become independent because they're they have their kids taking care of them. However, Zoomers, instead of taking care of them, they're trusting the illegals coming in, and they do work cheaply, so there's no point in having kids, given that this is what the Zoomers think, right? The Zoomers are not going to be there to help you with family stuff, to take care of you, and they are the ones who are allowing illegals in. So why even bother? That's what
exactly, and that was an accidental anger face. I'm actually pretty happy. But I think that's a good take on it. Like, you Zoomers are like more trust society, and you can't let society raise your kids. A lot of the problems that American society has is because they let the school system teach them what society should be, not just the TV. And it's a great big problem. We used to have civics class. They got rid of civics class. They don't understand their government, and they just believe their teachers, which is terrible.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, interesting. Thank you for the super chat. Kevin with the super chat saying, I hereby promote the monkey to a gorilla. Cappy.
Oh my God.
No, not Kevin, Cappy. Are you
well, you know what? I already got the silver back.
I'm
getting real great.
Okay. Isn't that assuming that gorillas are superior to monkeys? Aren't you offended by
Oh,
that?
they're
Monkey?
bigger. They're definitely bigger, but like, yeah, I'm just gonna take it as a compliment and saying like, hey, I'm halfway there. I already got all the gray.
All right. Thank you, Cappy, and thank you again for your service. And Ghalibaf with the super chat saying, by the way, we have our own Ghalibaf. How crazy is that? Will buying time getting them on side? What? Do you understand this, Monkey?
Well, okay. My best interpretation, while buying time, getting them on the side,
Will
like what we're getting
okay,
them on the side is, I don't know, Hezbollah, uh, PMF, and
oh
Houthis are who we're getting on the side.
no, Will. So I think now I understand what you're saying. Like while buying time, right? Are we hitting them at the same time? Oh yes, that's what you meant. Basically, the calamari strategy. So we're buying time with them, and we're cutting their tentacles, like Shabi, Houthis, Hezbollah, Hamas. I mean, yeah, but the problem is that the Islamic Republic is the tentacles grow back if you don't go for the head of the octopus. The Naftali Bennett, for example, says that stop cutting the tentacles and finish the job. That's what Naftali Bennett is. The head of the octopus, that's a term that Naftali Bennett has coined. And I agree with that, actually. And the problem is that they keep regrowing if you don't finish. If you cut the tentacles temporarily so that you could go for the head of the octopus, that makes sense. If you immediately go for the head of the octopus as soon as you cut the tentacles, but if you only just keep cutting the tentacles, they regrow.
I don't know if that's biologically correct. I know that a starfish can regrow the limbs, and if you want to call the IRGC a brown starfish, I get it.
Okay, so think about like a magical octopus that regrows its tentacles.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So imagine if you have a sword and you're going for the head of the octopus, and the tentacles are in your face and you can't get to the head. So you cut them with your sword so that you could then go and stab the head, right? And kill the whole thing, right? But the tentacles grow fast. So if you're just only cutting the tentacles, then you're just going to be wasting your time and resources and energy, and you're going to
have you ever heard of a
tire
hydra?
yourself. Yeah. Oh, it's Hydra. Okay. Is that Hydra? Does Hydra regrow?
Hydras regrow. The only way to make that
Yes,
that other head not grow is to cauterize the stump. And even then, you have to cauterize all the stumps and then kill it. Like you have to cauterize all the heads and then kill it, or eventually it will grow back ahead. Like it's just like it slows it down.
Yes. I don't want to. Interesting. Okay. Yes. But imagine an octopus with tentacles that works like Hydra. There you go.
Exactly.
Yes. Hell Hydra.
Some some Marvel enjoyers in the chat.
Yes. Another super chat saying, after I don't know how to read this is all caps. I'm not going to be able to read
Marie
this.
Antoinette got beheaded. Her son escaped to the UK, then USA, North Carolina, took the name Pacier. He used the Rothschilds as a front. The Paciers set up the Fed, Res, and Arc globalist bloodline. I don't know if any of this is fact. Like I would have to look into all this, because like all this ancient bloodline stuff, like I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but it's the kind of stuff that Candace Owens gets into a lot. And I'm not gonna say you're anything like that, because sometimes there are some, people that have a little bit of intelligence in their family, and their children tend to inherit, and they go on to do big things, not necessarily good, but big, right? So I'm not gonna dismiss it outright, but you're all capping and going about globalist bloodlines. So, Don't be mad at me if I take it with a pinch of salt, and I would check it later.
Well, okay, so it's actually okay. So I just check. It says scientific DNA evidence confirms Marie Antoinette's son died in prison in 1795, making the royal escape story impossible. Impossible. The Federal Reserve was created by U.S. legislation in 1913, not by a secret globalist bloodline.
Oh, wait a minute. That's oh my God. What's the name of that president? Not Roosevelt, the other one that made the Federal Reserve. Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot his name. I know who yeah, the Federal Reserve. I know he's talking about like the monster from Jekyll Island type stuff. Woodrow Wilson. Yes, Wilson. Woodrow Wilson. Someone got it in the chat. Who got it?
So
Stephen knows in the chat. Woodrow Wilson made the
so-
Federal Reserve.
So here's more details. The claim that Marie Antoinette's son survived the French Revolution is historically false. Historical records show Louis XVII died of tuberculosis in Paris prison on June 8, 1795. Definite mitochondrial DNA testing completed on April 19, 2000 proved his death in prison. The legend of the secret Pursuer Empire originated in conspiracy literature during the late 1990s. The Federal Reserve was established by the U.S. Congress on December 23, 1913, not by a secret family. By the way, why are you shouting at us? Like, why is...
Here's what I would say. Here's what I would say.
Oh.
When you blame one guy, it lets too many people off the hook. Like, I could have everyone that had anything to do with that. If I don't like what happened there, I could get them all on the hook. I could blame Woodrow Wilson. I could blame all the people that created the legislation and all the people who passed it. But if I go down conspiracy lane, then it was all one guy and the rest of them get off scot-free. One of the things that I don't like about conspiracy theories is that it's very damn convenient for all the people involved to lay it on one guy's, even if it's one of them, lay it all at one guy's feet. I don't want to just get the one guy. I want all of them. And conspiracy theorists have the tendency to blame one guy.
Federal Reserve, it's not like the Federal Reserve is evil or anything. So I don't know why even blame anybody. I mean, I prefer, letting the free market do its thing rather than having something like that. But it's not like it's evil institutions that is controlling like stuff. I think this whole Federal Reserve hate comes from anti-Jewish tropes, like people.
Okay, he says his iPad has a broken caps lock key. iPads they have a digital screen. You can't break the caps lock key.
Okay.
Now you're just busting my balls.
So I'm not yelling, I swear. Okay. My iPad has a broken cap lock key. So I went to my phone. iPad, how's that?
Okay. Turn it sideways. If you turn it sideways, maybe that area will be pressable.
Okay. All right, guys. I know a lot of people who believe in the theories are not anti-Jewish themselves. I know that. But if you go look into the origins of so many of these theories, they come from people who are trying to blame that the Jews are controlling the world with their secret ways from the shadows. A lot of these is connected to those conspiracy theories. And then Ghalibaf with a super chat saying it's the ex-supreme leader's finger with his ring. Oh, that is
that
gross.
Okay. Cool.
So in his ice cream, that's the finger.
Well, would he? I mean, a lot of people said his crying was so fake.
It was, but even he wouldn't be eating an ice cream with a finger on it. I don't think there was even a finger left, to be honest. I think he was vaporized. But yeah, and thank you, Qaribaf. And you're gross. Is that the blood then? Is that the rest of that? Is that like, I thought that was syrup. Now I'm thinking it's blood. And thank you. Okay, let's go with the Dubby Step 100. saying, would any of the mullahs pull a weapon on an IRGC higher up? Oh my God, the mullahs, the mullahs with the turbans? No, they don't know. Oh my God. If they try to do that, they probably will shoot themselves. These people are useless. You know, these, other than coming out and giving sermons and giving garbage opinions, these people, like, if the Islamic Republic, you know, when it falls, like, these people are unhireable. Like, the vast majority of them have zero skills doing anything else. I doubt they would be able to know how to operate a weapon. They'll probably shoot themselves in an accident or something. And no, I don't think so. You have no idea how useless a mullah is. Like, they
Isn't
running
that
people like, yeah.
one of the things that like I've heard this before from, like, you've told us that this is the thought amongst Iranians, maybe some that came into the group discussion, that they don't think that these people are gonna become like insurgents or, you know, form some kind of resistance movement in other places, because they're so useless and lazy that if you take up the top tier of the IRGC, these people are not going to form pockets of strong resistance. They're just mooching and leeching off the people of Iran's income.
Yeah, that's all they know how to do. And this is why they're terrified, because they think, like, everybody, like, some people are being convinced, like, okay, it's going to be fine. But some mullahs are like, what am I going to do? Like, what's going to be my job? I don't know how to do anything. And like, if the Islamic Republic falls, like, am I going to go, like, what? Like, paint things or like work in an office? I have no skills. I'm going to go broke.
They're not going to go to Pakistan and become Bin Laden.
Yeah. I don't know. This is it. Yeah. All right. So thank you for that. And then we got Cappy with a membership gift. Thank you so much, Cappy. Thank you so much for the membership gift. Always having our back, always supporting us. I want to listen to this. President Trump, I think, clarified here how long. So the question on Iran, do you have any idea? Is it a month, a year? How long is it going to take? Okay, that's a good question. Let me see if it gets answered here.
Negotiations, if you even want to call it that. But do you have any idea? Is it a month, a year? How long does it take to resolve what's happening?
Yeah. So, always difficult to do. Don't forget, we did Venezuela. Nobody talks about that. We did that in less than a day.
Yeah.
It was done in exactly 48 minutes to be exact, but less than a day. We lost nobody. With Iran, we're at 16, depending on definitions, we're at 16, 18 people.
Negotiations, if you even want to.
So we're not getting an answer, are we? To that, obviously. I mean, you shouldn't expect it either, to be fair.
You
Question
shouldn't expect
three.
an answer, but, like, is that the full clip?
Yeah, I mean, after that, he moves on to talking about other stuff that is not the answer to the question.
He shouldn't answer, but he's referencing a fast operation. You understand what I'm saying? He's not referencing a slow operation.
That's a good point. That's a good observation. Very good observation. A big, fast operation, because look at this question that was answered here.
So we'll see what happens. It's really bad to put it. I'm doing a much bigger job than I said I was going to do. I was going to go in and knock out the military, go in, go out. But then I realized if we do that, we have to have some form of maintenance. Otherwise, they'll rebuild. And the one reason I went in was Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon.
A much bigger job. What do you think?
My worry is not the nuclear weapon. My worry is that they will accept not having a nuclear weapon. That's what I'm worried about.
You know, Monkey, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, the chances of that is low, but you're saying even if it's low, it's too high, right?
Bingo.
Okay. That's a good point.
The entire Navy is laying at the bottom of the sea. I'd say that's going big. They had 200 airplanes, they're all gone. Every one of them. They're not one airplane. They had anti-aircraft weaponry, very good, but it didn't work. And it's all gone. Their radar is all gone. Their leaders are all gone. Everything's all gone. But they'll fight onward.
But they fight onward. What do you think about the last statement there?
Yeah, they do.
So it's not all gone though. If they keep fighting that, if they're fighting, that means it's not gone. It's not. There's something there. So
Well, they keep fighting. Their equipment is gone. Like they find other equipment. It's not all gone. All the equipment gone. They make more equipment and fight with that. That's why in the previous he was talking about they manufacture more.
right. Okay, let's hear this one. What he says over here.
Prices are way down with the exception of the oil, and that'll go down. As you saw, when they thought we had a deal 2 weeks ago, the prices dropped like a rock, and that'll happen. But we want to have a real deal. I don't want to have a fake deal. Prices are way down with the exception of the...
What do you think about that? He's like, do you get upset when he keeps talking about getting to a deal? Keep talking.
I hate the concept of a deal. I sent you a clip. I'd like to go over, not the full clip, just to start, because we don't have to do it now. But if you want to know the topic, it is about the deal. It is about the problems with the deal, and they don't even talk about Iran.
This one, or it's 5 minutes?
No, but you only got to do like the start a little bit. It'll explain my problem with a deal.
One of which involves an Al-Qaeda terrorist that was captured. She's actually now in Texas in a mental institution for the rest of her life. Her name's Afia Siddiqui. She's an MIT-trained biologist, related by marriage to Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. Okay? And she was leading the biological weapons program. This is according to the CIA officers.
She was trained at MIT?
She was trained at MIT, and then she went back to Pakistan. She was the first woman on the FBI's most wanted terrorist list.
How come they have her in a mental institute?
Because they caught her. And then this part is reported.
We
They
should
caught
probably
her
stop for a
somehow.
second, just to not let it run too long, just to not get in the ire of YouTube, and let YouTube know we're not trying to replace this content, but we think this is important for commentary. Let it roll again.
Again, the air quote. Somehow she got a hold of a Marine's rifle and was firing at the FBI agents interviewing her. This is all public. And she was shot. They took her to the United States, gave her a trial, decided she was insane, put her in a mental institution. But what had never been revealed before my book is that in her handbag, she had plans to create a genetically modified pathogen that mixed rabies with chicken pox.
You understand the problem there?
Think about that. Imagine.
And the ability to do it. And this was years ago. The ability still exists. This is bigger than a nuclear weapon. And there's crazy people like this that will do it. This is bigger than the nuclear dust, more devastating. It goes farther than a nuclear bomb. And this getting hung up on a nuclear weapon is a problem. Let it roll a little bit more so she gets a little bit more into it, then you can cut it off.
Airborne rabies. Rabies, like pneumonic plague, is one of the only other pathogens that has 100% death rate without countermeasures.
Oh. And rabies, like when you see it in animals, I've never actually encountered a rabid animal in the wild as much as I know. But when you see them, it
takes over.
Want to infect something else. They get hyper aggressive.
Yeah.
They want to bite you.
Right.
You can stop it there. There you get. Do you understand why I specifically talked about rabies? It's not because I have a penchant for Resident Evil games and I, have seen too many World War Z and zombie movies. It's because I know that scientifically the thing that they're gonna that people are trying to weaponize is rabies, because it has 100% kill rate once it reaches a certain incubation point. Like the bubonic plague and rabies, that's like she said, this is a fucking a microbiologist that deals with this shit. This is a problem. And if there's any regime that would do this shit, it's the IRGC. You can't let the reformers in powers, because the reformers would be stupid enough to think that they can control a thing like this. Bring out someone they don't like, infect them in front of some cameras, and say, if you don't let us control the strait, we're going to release this into the population. And we don't need no nuclear bombs. We don't need no ballistic missiles. We have ways to get it out there. That's the problem with the IRGC.
Interesting. I wonder, this is something that I think more people should pay attention to, and they're not as much as you are, Monkey. I wonder if how much data do we have regarding the Islamic Republic programs in, biological weapons, and how much progress they have made on that. And, what are the greatest threats coming from them right now? Like, do you know if there's any intelligence on that?
We're doing a little bit of a study on this right now, live on air, guys, because what I'm talking about, this is an old interview. Like, this is a real problem, and we're not addressing it. And this penchant, this boomer infatuation with a nuclear deal is as old-timey and, nearsighted as the IRGC's penchant for a nuclear deal. If they were ever smart enough to give it up, we would have a problem on our hands. Just like we're not being smart enough to realize that the problem is bigger than the nuclear dust.
So Western intelligence confirms the regime in Iran maintains an active offensive biological weapons program disguised within civilian laboratories. The Islamic Republic has focused heavily on genetic engineering, toxin production, and pharmaceutical-based agents. The IRGC Aerospace Force accelerated efforts in December 2025 to integrate biological warheads onto ballistic missiles and drones. Military strikes on nuclear sites in June 2025 and February 2026 have prompted the Iranian regime to rely more on biological deterrence. Tracking bioweapons in the Middle East region remains complex due to a lack of international biosecurity verification mechanism.
I'll go even further. They could make a fake virus and put the world into a lockdown. Our economy can't take that. Some people believe that the last outbreak was kind of fake, like it was a strong flu virus, but not as deadly as they claimed. And that, we had ways to deal with it better than the lockdown, but the reaction was what was most devastating. And them having that kind of reaction, again, put the fear of God into me. I mean, I already had it, but a little more. Like, this goes beyond whatever conception you might have of this being a real danger or not. We know the real danger of how the world has been reacting to pandemic and viruses.
This is worrying me, Monkey. Good job. Now I'm a bit concerned because I didn't even consider this until you brought it up a bit earlier. And now that I'm looking at it, apparently it is something that the Islamic Republic not only is working on, that the attacks have made them shift on that. So good job on you to pay attention to something that more people need to be paying attention to. Yeah. And again, another problem with these that makes them even more dangerous is that they're not detectable the way enriched uranium is detectable, right? Enriched uranium is so much easier. Like, they leave radioactive like signatures and stuff of themselves that make them detectable, but these stuffs are, until they get released, they're so much harder to detect, or impossible actually, unless they leak or something. So let me see what they're saying here.
What's the status of talks? Who from the administration?
Well, they always want to talk, but they break their word so often. Steve is talking, Jared, we have very good people. JD's involved, very strongly involved. We have great people talking. Marco's involved. They're
Because
all
they say
involved.
talks aren't happening.
Very good people. We're the best people. But they'll make a deal. As an example, we'll talk about nuclear. And we'll be in there talking about nuclear for 7 hours. I say, why do you need 7? You can take 10 minutes. You have 5 minutes. You should solve it. But 7 hours. And then they'll go out and I'll say, they discussed nuclear. And they'll go out and they'll say, we never discussed nuclear. And I say, why? Why do they say that? All they do is make me angry. You know, you just make me angry.
All they do is make me angry. But also
Welcome to the club.
Yeah. All right. Here's just 2 more statements from President Trump before we go here. 2 more statements, and then the super chat.
With Iran, we're at 16, depending on definitions, we're at 16, 18 people, which is far too many.
Are you saying the people so Trump on Iran, with Iran, depending on definitions, we lost 16 to 18 people. I don't know what that means, depending on definition. Monkey, can you help out with this?
I think it's probably, if it's primarily because of the direct attack or a second order effect, because what the attack affected. Like, I'm going to give you an example. Now, I don't think this is the example. Let's say I'm at a base. This base is an ad hoc base, so not a long-standing base, and it takes time to get to the hospital. So I was in the infirmary, but the lights cut out because of the attack. And now that the lights cut out, I can't get to the hospital on time. Now, was I injured because of the attack? No, but the attack caused the situation that cost me my life. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that's it. That's what happened, because I don't think like what went on there was anything like the example I'm giving. I'm just giving an example of a second order effect that leads to death because of the attack.
All right. Let's go through, because we only have a few minutes. One last statement, and then we have 2 super chat.
President, you said they do have some capabilities left.
Yeah.
Should Americans be prepared for these back and forth attacks to continue until Iran
A
simply
little
isn't
bit.
able of
They
striking
get
back?
weaker. They'll get weaker. They'll get a little stronger maybe now, but they'll get weaker and then they peter out. Yeah, sure. I think so. I mean, it'd be foolish to say no. You always have to keep your guard up.
What is the status of talks? President,
All right, guys. So that was all of it. Before we have a group call in about an hour, and you guys should join. Oh, the group call is open to all today, so that means it's free for everybody. I put the link in the chat. Come and talk to us over there. Monkey, will you be there?
Yes.
Yes. So, guys, it's free. Come talk to me and Monkey and everyone else there. The link is in the chat. The link is in the QR code at the top left. The link is in the description. The link is also in the bio section of Liberty Politics YouTube channel. So here's the link. You could try it. You could join us there if you're listening to us later. And subscribe to Liberty Politics. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you to everybody who subscribed to the channel, everybody who's liking, everybody who's commenting, everybody who's hitting the bell notification. Thank you so much for that. And also, guys, don't forget, Monkey is trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. So I'll put the link to Monkey's channel in the chat.
3 more, and I got 115. And I got 815. I'm sorry.
Right. And so that's that. And then we got 2 super chats. We got Ghalibaf again. Do you want to read this one, Monkey? We have 2 minutes.
Corn in one hand, ice cream in the other. Oh, with a U.S. jacket. They say he sold out. Oh, they say he sold. Do you think he sold out? I think he kind of did. There's a photo proof that, and wasn't the ex leader stored in a cream truck? Okay.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Appreciate
Yeah,
it. This is very creative.
Very creative,
Well,
and thank you for collecting evidence against Ghalibaf.
Well, I mean, it's photo evidence, but it's a nice shot. You know, he had the right angle.
Yes. Thank you, Ghalibaf. Thank you. That's pretty cool. And then Amy with a super chat saying, do you think they are handling the Fauci situation effectively? Monkey,
Not at all.
What do you think? Because not at all. How come? Quickly, too.
They're focusing on Fauci. Like, definitely Fauci should go to jail, but there's a whole lot of entities, there's a whole lot of things that happen, and people in power that pretended Fauci that knew the reality of what was going on, and they just, they didn't do anything about it. There's a lot of criminality that's not just Fauci. There's a lot of people around Fauci that aren't getting interrogated. Like, we're talking about just interrogations. Why is this guy just interrogated? He should be in jail. He should be in jail.
Okay,
And
so
he should be. Oh my God! Go ahead.
Just what 30 seconds. I don't know much about this, but didn't Trump? So I don't know, guys, how to respond to this. But didn't Trump support Fauci, or am I?
He was already in charge when Trump came in. He just basically, okay, this is the guy for health. Let's leave him in charge. But I don't. I
remember statements. I remember during COVID, President Trump saying, like, praising him a lot.
Yes. I blame him for that. I do blame Trump for part of everything that happened with Fauci. I do blame Trump for Operation Warp Speed. I do blame Trump for giving him credibility. I do blame Trump for not knowing that Fauci had illegal labs in Wuhan. Even under Obama law, that's illegal. Fauci got around it and made some labs in Wuhan. I do blame Trump for not investigating that. It was his first term. Most of his staff was tricking him and against him, especially Mike Pence. Like, I do blame him. There is no lack of blame on my part. I think that was very retarded of him.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, thank you, Monkey. And then last super chat, BT June saying, Armin, last day on the road, drove 4,000 kilometers, and you kept us informed on the drive. Thank you. Wow. 4,000 kilometers with me. Thank you, BT June. That's amazing.
Yeah, monkey blessings for everyone.
Yes, which show? Me, Monkey as well? Monkey and Ali, all of the shows? Oh my God, I would get tired of me. This is why we have Monkey and Ali, and Guy, so that there's some diversity. Because I don't know, I will go mad if I had to listen to me for 4,000 kilometers. Thank you, BT June. Well, we miss you. Come back to our group chat. Are you okay now? Are you all okay? All of us. Okay. So okay,
I don't get tired of you.
Oh,
I interrupt you too much to get tired of
you. And Guy, yes, for sure. And Guy, for sure. All right, guys. BT June, we missed you. I hope we'll get to see you today in the group call. And that's what we're going to go get ready for. So I'm going to end the stream. And guys, see you guys in 1 hour, either in the group call or on Liberty Politics, because we're going to live stream it on Liberty Politics. So if you don't want to come join us in the group call, just watch Liberty Politics in 1 hour when we go live again. And until next time, I'm Israel Chai, Slava Ukraine, Cuba Libre, Long Live America, Javid Shah, Payande
Iran.